Recording in progress.
It takes a while to process after the workshop, so you'll get it tonight or tomorrow, but you'll have both days recorded. Let me see. Let's go over the handout first. So this is the handout you've all should have received, and here's page 1. And the whole deal with this is, as I said in the workshop, it really boils down to when you take a pic with your camera and you want to highlight somebody or emphasize something or someone, they're in focus. So what we're actually doing is we're painting in focus and out of focus. So that's easy for us as watercolor artists because we have wet and wet and wet on dry. And we're going to be able to paint both of those at the same time. Usually what happens with watercolor artists, they grab their paint, they're excited to paint, and they end up painting, they energize their colors and they end up painting wet on dry. And that is going to leave a hard edge. So for me, a successful painting is, first of all, it's drawing and design, very, very important. And then it's edges. It's not, it's shapes defined by values, but then it's edges. It's not color, it's edges. So it has, it leads your brain to where you want me to look first, where you want me to look second, where you want me to look third. There's the, doesn't make any difference what your palette is or whatever this is. This is just my materials list, suggested list only a guide. This is an exercise we're going to do just so you can see the difference between the wet and the dry. Or in this case, dry, wet. And it's not just wet and wet. It's a random wet. It's a planned wet of the paper. These are all reference. And I gave everybody here this morning, I printed everything out, even though I sent you the cluster. I printed everything out for you to take home after this workshop and use. Here are some examples. I did not paint these, but these are examples I just found on my Pinterest file that I think are very valuable. This is so unique for, I mean, how many rose paintings have you seen? Thousands, probably. I have. But this one is artful. This one tells me where to look right away. And I'm going to just follow this. The wind's blowing. I have these various edges that are leading me around this painting. So the technique really works. I think this is also an excellent example, a very good example of the wet dry look combo. Come on, let me go over there. Hang on. Come on. It's not going to let me. I don't know. Anyway, this right here, you see a combination of edges. You also see values. Is somebody talking?
Somebody has two sound things.
By the way, if you have a question, if you're muted, we can hear the brush swirling in the water and drinking tea or coffee and all that. So just mute yourself. And I think if you're on a desktop or laptop, if you press the space bar, then that unmutes you if you have a question at any time. This is an example. Again, it's all about the edges. How many lemon paintings have you seen? This one stands out to me. The same here. This background is pushed back. That's the out of focus. These are the in focus, and landscapes are really suited for the wet dry because we have the distant and the close up setting. This is a reference that I put in the cluster folder, so you have quite a bit. Actually, this is the handout, excuse me. This is the cluster folder I sent you the invitation to, and I've added a bunch of stuff. I've added a bunch more stuff for you to paint after this workshop. So just give it a try. And this is an example of the best example I can think of for these edges. I think this is a beautiful painting. And it's all about the edges. Some are lost, some are found, some are hard, some are soft, same thing. And it takes a normal still life that you might paint, or floral, or landscape, or portrait, doesn't make any difference, and makes it exceptional. Anyway, all this stuff is in the cluster folder I sent. Valley Watercolor Wet Dry Combo. That's what it's named. And here's another example, a quick example of turning an ordinary setup into something above and beyond. So, and be expected to have surprises. So that's true with watercolor, period. I showed this at the demo, the meeting, and this is how we usually paint. Or we start off by painting wet on wet, and then we have to let that dry before we can go back and paint wet on dry. And then the end, we usually do this dry on dry, which is rough, but this is the random wet. And this one, to me, is much more magical and has much more interest to it than any of these. And these were all painted the same way. There's nothing different about it as far as what I was painting. I think you saw that. That was part of the demo. I wanted to share this with you all as just a little good morning welcome. I don't have this cup, but I'm tempted to buy it and give it to all my friends. This cup.
Does it say there? I can't read. Yeah. I can't read it. It's too far away. I can't read it. Me, my son.
Well, it's going to be
I-
out of focus because
I came, I saw, I forgot what I was doing, went back, got distracted, and I have no idea what's going on. Is this my cup? I have to be.
yeah, that's my life.
My life too.
Yeah, there you
Oh,
go.
we like-
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was pretty good. So here's the exercise. This is the random wet. I'll show you how I do that because everything is based on that. I also gave everyone here for their, I'm assuming we're having like a very short lunch snack. So you can fill this out, figure out whether you're left brain or right brain. And you'll probably be surprised. Yeah, you'll probably be surprised. Anyway, so I put this in cluster for all you Zoomers. You can you don't have to print it out. You can just click off 1 through 10 and say an A or a B, whatever it is.
Jack,
Anyway, yes.
the still life on the bottom there, the one with the cups and the out of focus in the front. That's rather unusual to have that, isn't it, design wise?
The difference in the edges?
It bothered me. I think I just
I'm trying to take everyone here has painted before. Everyone has experience. I'm just trying to give you a different way to stand out, a different way to paint.
I don't know if you're the one who did that, but why not make the out of focus on that? Why? Or is it just for no reason at all?
I'm not understanding your question.
On that particular painting, I was just questioning the composition or design. I don't know what word you want to use. It's on the one below that one.
Uh-huh.
It's the out of focus in the front. That kind of,
Well, because I want you to look back here. I want you to look back here.
Right.
That's where the real color is.
Right.
That's where
Because
the
of the
real
color.
hard edges is. I don't want to look at everything at once
Mm-hmm.
because I get confused. I want to look at what's emphasized. Where do you want me to look? Where do you want me to look first, second, third? And I'm going to meander around the painting. Because when you go to a show, people they start walking through the gallery and they just keep walking. And then all of a sudden they'll stop. So they made a connection. That's a sticky painting, I call it. It's something happened. They connected with that painting, and they stand there and they look up. They look at all around that painting. So that's kind of what I'm getting you into. Plus, this is if you enter something like this in a show that's a still life show, I guarantee you that would get in and probably win an award because it stands
It
out.
stands
It's
out.
different.
Yeah, it stands out.
It stands out.
I'm
It
sorry.
stands out.
Yeah.
so if you had put the items that you wanted to focus on in the front, it would have been more ordinary.
No,
No, I don't want anyone to focus on the foreground. I want my star of the show to be somewhere in the middle, not the background, not the foreground. I see the table in the foreground. I see my wall in the background. I'm looking at you. You're the focus. So it's just an environment. It's just a setup for the environment. Anyway, that could be a design issue. Anyway. Let me show you something really quick. With this, I think this is a really good example. I'll let this play several times because it's very quick. This person, I don't know who they are, but they are self-taught. They've never been to a class or anything. They've discovered all this by themselves. And this is kind of sort of what we're talking about. And it's what I showed the other night. And we'll start off just playing with this. I hope you brought enough paper. But we're not painting big. So, and it depends on the paper. You should use good paper, 100% cotton paper if you want good results. But we all know that anyway. So let me play this. And you can just watch. She does this several times. You notice the water on the paper and what happens when she paints through those random spatters. See that spatter? Look at this. Look at how beautiful that paints itself. So that's kind of what we're after. You're just taking a total advantage of watercolor by doing this and letting it paint itself.
Joe, is this called loose watercolor?
Loose?
Loose
I don't know what
Yeah.
loose watercolor is. I think that's,
groups of people who do loose compared to non-loose.
yeah.
well, that's a style. That's not that's an individual. Do you like to paint photorealistic or traditional, or do you like to paint more impressionistic?
Impressionist.
Yeah, well, I guess you could call loose impressionistic, but it's personal. So most people who come to workshops, what's the number one thing they want to do?
Loosen up.
They want to loosen up. Exactly. They're tired of being a slave to copying their reference. And they are doomed to failure, especially if you're copying nature. Forget about it. You're being, as Joseph Zbukvich says, you're pathetic compared to what you're painting,
Yeah.
what you're looking at. I mean, look at the day today. How could you capture that? I mean, we all try, but anyway, this is just a little thing that you can play with and experiment. And I guarantee you, especially if you want to do personal cards for the holidays. Oh my God, what a concept. You could do this all day long. You know, everybody's got a garden. Go out in your garden with some water and some paint and brushes and try this. Anyway, I will include this link. You just saw it. It's being recorded, but I will include this link in the in the debrief anyway. That's what I do with all my classes. Anything we talk about off topic, we can, I'll send you a link to it. So in this class, I gave you a bunch of, in this workshop, I gave you a bunch of these just for inspiration. If you don't like to paint flowers or veggies or fish or whatever, there's a bunch of reference. I thought grapes would be kind of interesting with this technique. I put some of these paintings in here that I just liked because they're loose or impressionistic. So there you go. Look at the bottom. Look at all those soft edges. There's some dry on dry edges. Here's some hard edges going to soft. It makes this thing much more interesting to me, and that's what makes a painting work. It's interesting. I put this in here because I like the design. There's a
question here. Can you go back to the previous one? No,
sure.
This one, okay. My question is regarding the use of white. I am obsessed with using light, you know, what do we use for light? Do we leave no painting or do we use white? How do we?
I always leave as more white paper. When I start painting, I always leave more white paper than I think I will need. I don't use white paint, but I do. I'm not a white paint, never white painter. Okay.
So that is just no color there. No.
Yeah, it's just paper.
Oh, that's paper. It's not-
Paper. Yeah, you
Okay.
could paint it around it. I'm guessing, but I'm pretty sure it does not look like paint. Anyway, then there's an example of what we painted as far as the demo. To me, this is much more interesting than just trying to copy it exactly. I put this in your reference. There's what we're going to paint. We're going to paint these. We're going to paint these. We're going to paint Nemo. You can paint these guys if you want to. I put this in here because I thought this was an excellent design composition. I thought that was just so well done. That is, if anybody knows Chen Chung Wei, he's out of Taiwan. He's up there with the gods of watercolor, and his wife painted this. She's also an artist, Jasmine.
Do we have a copy of that? Did you send us a copy?
It's in cluster.
It's in cluster. Wow.
I don't know who did this. It's in cluster. Here's more reference. I would think this lock would be my focal point.
Yeah.
So everything around it, I can use textures. I can take advantage of granulation. I do not have to paint hard edges around this. By the way, I want to say something too, that it does not have to physically be a soft edge. That means you blend it out. It can be also be a soft or lost edge just by value. If your values are very close to each other, that's a lost edge because it's hard to see, even though technically there is a crisp edge to it. Anyway, I like this very much. I like what happened in here. It painted itself. Some lost and found. I already showed you that one, that one. Here's another one. Look at all that beautiful stuff that happens when you paint the random wet. There's one that I painted. There's another one, reference. Here's another one that you could see if you like landscapes, which I do. How could I emphasize that cabin? It's beautiful because I have all this wet, this lost stuff that I could put in. We'll paint this, that, those. So all the reference is in your cluster folder. So I'm going to stop yakking for a second. Does anybody have any questions? 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 No questions. Good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
When we
what?
start our papers, do you want them taped down or loose?
To start with, we don't have to tape a border because we're not doing complete paintings yet. If you see me do it, we'll do it. But first, what I want you to do is play. Let's see. Let me go back to share. If you guys cannot see my screen, yell at me. Because that means I'm not sharing, and that means it's not being recorded. So right now it is being recorded. And so I'm going to share my work area, which is this. And there we go. I'm going to minimize that. And this is an example of this. This was the star of my show. And these two guys, our buddies, they are not, they are out of focus, some in focus, leading you down to the star of the show. So I do not care. In fact, I insist that no one walk out of here with a finished painting. I want you to try stuff. One of my mantras is drawing is a given, design is everything, and failure is your friend. I want everyone in here to fail because that way I will know this was successful because they learned something. Okay, Susie has heard me say this several times. Yes.
I have a question regarding the reference we have. I noticed that there is no shadow,
I don't care.
but I would like to add a shadow.
Create, don't copy.
Okay.
Just create, don't copy. Make it yours. I mean, I could put a shadow in here. There's a fake shadow right there. I don't care about the shadow. I'm never going to, that's the last thing I'm going to look at is a shadow. Unless I'm painting shadows. So don't worry about any of that. So everybody freshen their coffee and get out a piece of paper. I'm using a 9x12 paper. And we're going to paint something like this first, but not yet. I'm gonna just try to show you the difference. And here's my palette left over from the demo. I cleaned it up pretty much. We're only going to paint these two, so I'm going to have one there and one there. So I'm going to heat up my coffee while you're getting set up, and we're only going to use just pick a dark color.
The Fabriano is not 100%.
That's not 100% cotton, but it'll do. It'll do for this. You just have better success.
Yeah. Who carries 100% cotton? Arches?
Oh, well, don't, you do not have to get arches.
No, there's.
I'll show you what I
We
use.
don't want arches.
I'll show you two things that I use because, in fact, I have to pick one up this afternoon.
Yeah.
While we're at it, here's what I've been using among other things. You can actually, oh my God, I went to Michael's. Because why? I got 40% off.
Right. On what?
I've got 40% off. This is normally almost the same price as an Arches pad, same size. It's a couple bucks cheaper, but it is 100% cotton. It's 100% cotton, so why should I take it? Here, you can take it. It's going to be on the recording, but do not get the one with the tree on it.
It's Michael's
cellulose.
brand. It's Michael's. It's Michael's.
Yeah, it's artist law. Yeah, anyway, it's a very good pad. Also, I have been using this, which is a very good pad, and it's a much cheaper. In fact, Joseph Zabukovich mentioned this, 100% cotton. great. And also I just found
Oh,
a
can
new
you
one.
give it, I have not.
I will include this in the link.
Yeah, but I want it now.
I will.
Oh
while it's
my
being
God.
recorded.
Pain in the ass.
At lunch, you can do that. Anyway,
What's the other one you found?
Bob Hong.
Hong, and there was a third.
Here,
This is
I'll
one.
pass it around and you can take a pic with your phone. If you want. Anyway, that's very good paper, and I have another paper that you can get a 9x12 pad of. That's 100% cotton, and it's $18. I know, it's brand new. I teach at Cal Lutheran, and that's what I got. I got 10 pads for the kids to paint on. So now they don't have to paint on cheap paper because we supply the paper.
Bookstore?
It's not in the bookstore. I'll send you a link, an
Okay.
Amazon link, and you
Okay,
can get
thank
it.
you.
In fact, at lunch, if you remind me, I'll bring it up.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, because I've had success with this, so I'm just, I thought it was 100%.
Now, you have to be kind of careful about that. I used to do that, but cotton will give you better results.
I have Fabriano, I've been using it, I've been happy with it. Yeah. But I would love to do 100%. No, I'm serious, that's what I just did. When I put it in here. It's not good when they. Store that is selling out of business. No, that I. These are the cookies at Costco. At Christmas. Huh? How are you? No, I've got those. I've done those. It's just.
I broke my arm and dislocated my elbow,
That's.
and it was my right
I
hand.
usually use this
So I
and wrap
couldn't
them up
paint.
with this
Well, I
and put
could
this
paint.
down on the lid.
Some of my paintings that I
It's
did.
just not any
knocked
good
out
when they
of
get
it.
wet.
They're
You have
down,
to fold it
it's-
down like that.
How dry that?
Okay, I want to make sure that everybody knows this technique. So here's my palette. I think I can get everything pretty much on there. You need clean water for this. And I'm just going to paint a tree. I'm just going to do what everybody else does. Wet on dry. And I'm going to paint 3 things, so leave room for that. And then you can hang this on your wall for a reminder, I guess. I'm just using paint gray. And I'm using, I use flat brushes. You can use any kind of brush you want. It really doesn't make any difference. So I'm just going to paint a normal tree. Usually I start off with the trunk. And then I do this little dance. You don't have to paint a tree. You could paint anything you want. I don't care. Anyway, so there's my tree. It's wet on dry. It's going to have hard edges.
That's it.
There you go. So that's usually what happens. I'm going to clean my brush thoroughly. And now I just have clear water on this. In fact, I'm going to, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to make it a very pale gray. Just so you can see what I do. Normally this is clear water, okay? So before I paint that tree, I'm just going to do a little bit of this. So there's a pattern. That's usually clear water. So now I just want to paint another tree. And where it where it's going on that water is going to expand. See, it's already a more interesting tree for me. Not because of the gray, but because of the way the water worked. And that's what we're after. I don't need water. I don't need a soft edge down there. That's my trunk. And with both of these, just so you know, with both of these, what did I do with my pack of brush? Oh, here they are. With both of these, while this is damp, you can take your palette knife and go back in and do that. So you get a little bit of extra depth to it. I can do the same thing here. A little more interest. So that's not a bad looking tree in about less than a minute. You don't want water everywhere. That's just wet and wet. You want it to be random. I'm going to shield this. And I'm just going to splash some water. I'm going to splash some clear water. Spatter. I hope you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. And I'm just going to take my rigger or my dagger brush. I'll just take my rigger for now. And I'm going to go right through that water. I'm not going to paint a tree. I'm just going to paint some branches. And where that hits that water, it's going to automatically start making its own leaves, whatever you want. Isn't that cool? Or at least I think it's cool. Then you can go back and you can start doing a few leaves in there just by adding a little color to that. A little paint. That's much more interesting to me than just a normal straight wet on dry. Here's a wet on dry. That's much more interesting. And I can take and I can increase these if I want into shapes. There's a bigger shape. I can really be artistic, I guess, with this. I can let that dry and then I can come back later on and I can add some actual dark to that. There we go. There we go. It's just beautiful how it paints itself and gives you all these different layers. So just to play with this for a few minutes. At the beginning of this afternoon, tomorrow, you can go off on that reference that I gave you, or if you've been dying to paint something but didn't actually, you kind of kept putting it off because you didn't know how to get it started, then you'll have a much bigger arrow in your quiver and more confidence because you've already kind of done this. Isn't that cool?
This is cool. I don't know that I understand.
I
this
think it
one
was the way you applied the water.
too much.
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah. So you do not have to overdo the water. So the next thing we're gonna paint is this guy because there's plenty of places. We just did this. We just did this. There's plenty of places in there to do that. I wanted to show you this because
Could you hold off just a second?
Yeah,
before
can
do
you,
that?
it's a little bit,
Cause we're a little bit behind you.
it's a little bit too fast.
I am holding up.
No, I mean
I'm just showing you stuff that
Yeah, it's too fast. We need to have the time to do things.
I'm giving you time. I said I would give you time to play, right? I'm giving you time. I'm just showing you what's coming up. Anyway, I like to draw, so I love this.
Slow
little-
down.
I love this little drawing, and if you want to take this and put a dark background on, you can also do the same thing. We're not doing that for these purposes. I'm giving you time to play with this because it's important. You look at that, beautiful.
No, but also I have to use this, I put a bit too much.
That's okay. That's how we learn. We learn from our mistakes. So just go for it. Don't be judgmental. You have permission to fail. Yes, finally. No one's ever told me that before. And of course, this is not going to dry out the way it looks because it's watercolor, so it's going to dry out lighter. But I do have to say, I do like that one better than that one.
Do you ever use
You should treat yourself and get a set of tube paint instead of pan paint. And a bigger palette, so you'll have a bigger mixing area.
watercolor tubes?
Yeah. Yeah. You should, this is actually not a very big palette, that's a medium size, but I have several mixing areas.
Well, I don't see, you put tubes here from tube?
I squeeze out paint from.
No,
the
show
tube.
her the tube. Paint.
Get it too right
Show
here.
her the tubes.
Yeah. This is,
Right here.
these are tubes,
You
this
can
is
get a
tubes.
small tube here.
They will last a long time.
And what brand are those?
Any brand,
any
you could
brand.
get small sets, big sets, it's just
So-
smaller tubes. The whole set, it's in here.
I have a materials list which I sent out of what I use. Yes.
I was looking down when I'm brand new.
See,
Uh-huh.
it's like that tube,
Flowers, brush
and
and
you put it in here.
naturally.
What did you get for the balls?
Not just
Oh, I just,
Oh, you can
in those
anywhere.
drops of
You
water,
can
I
get
just switch it
the big
around a little
ones,
bit.
small
and
ones, and
then-
They're around and put there.
It's
different
up-
size.
up to you,
There
it's up to
you go,
you.
I
See-
get-
See this?
You can
You
have
want to
you
switch
can
it
have
around
like
it,
small
like
ones too,
the
yeah.
color to make shapes.
The same as that.
This doesn't make this does not make any difference right now. You could be painting anything.
Anywhere,
I grew up.
but those
But,
are good, I
that's
have
better
those.
Know how to do this.
Yeah, I've done a lot of it.
Yeah,
But
I
I've always
I
wanted
would
to bake from
use,
him, so I thought, oh, this is great, I
this
can stand
batter.
myself.
no, it's not spray, it's spatter.
Yeah, I'm happy with this. What I'm not
Before
happy
you
with
leave,
is
before
that
you
one.
just-
Okay.
Can I add more water to this? Will it- or
No,
should I-
just let it dry and put some
I wanted
water.
to take advantage of it, yeah.
But this is fine.
Yeah.
I don't need anything else. I don't
Oh,
even
yeah, I
care how
come
the
from
foliage.
Brenda.
I think you put too much water on it.
Yeah, she is, yeah, so she.
But that's okay.
Teaches
You
at
want that?
Scottsdale Artist School too, so I've taken from
Let
there,
me,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is very good. I think, is it negative painting
Let's
that
put
she's
these within
doing?
reach. That's the dirty water.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
a good
clean
class.
oh,
I got
okay.
some.
3 days.
Yeah, I've
Here, I'm
actually
just gonna
taken
do
that class
this,
twice.
So if I'm doing
Yeah,
this
So I
tree,
guess you don't
I'm
want
gonna
to
put
redo
water
it
on
again.
my brush.
No.
I'm just going to go.
Well, you never know, I might. I
Oh,
just-
okay,
I like
because I did a
paint,
zigzag
so
all
I
the way
just,
down.
you know,
Yeah.
take classes.
They always
Now,
refresh.
if
Hey,
you
They don't
yeah.
always
take your
do.
paint and
Yeah,
just draw a
the
line
price is
down
so
through there.
reasonable.
Yeah, we tried it.
That was the other problem, I didn't line afterwards.
Yeah.
No, you use darker paint.
Mhm.
Use dark paint.
I
That's just
know.
supposed to be
Yeah,
clear
it's
water.
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're not trying to make money.
Now, if
Yeah,
you take
it's
that,
We actually-
and I'm just not gonna hit it
Yeah.
everywhere, it's just your color.
Yeah.
You've been doing this a long
Okay, so
time
I'm gonna
because
start
I
skinny at
came
the
out
top and go to the
10 years ago
water.
for
See,
failing
so
men's work.
that's going to
Over
hit the
emission
water,
hills.
that
Yeah,
is not.
yeah.
So if I go down like
In a
this,
different location.
Yeah, that was a
some
nice.
of that's really good water,
Mm,
and some of that's not.
Mhm.
Okay, it's hitting the water and not, see, I thought you used this guy across
Yeah.
it as well.
No, I did that last.
Yes.
So Joe, oh, it's
Right.
last, oh, you see.
I know.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
have
but
anything to
this is
squeegee
great.
until I painted
So
something.
Joe,
Yeah.
I need more spatter.
Yeah, just big drops of spatter. Get your big brush out. If you're having,
So you're
not having
doing
success
this.
with this, it's big drops.
Okay.
It's, big drops. In fact, there's some, more big, I think you can see that. In fact, look at that. That's just painted leaves for me. Look at that. That's going to paint more leaves for me. I've got a lot of,
Spent a lot of.
Oh.
if I just draw a line through here,
You're not supposed to do that.
Oh, I want to do that.
if I just draw a line through here, look what happens.
It's different. 10 to 1.
Some of that's going to start exploding.
He signs up for the 5 plus.
Oh, I see. I'll talk to him, yeah.
That's going to start everywhere it hits a water drop, it's going to explode. As opposed to just dry paper. There's just dry paper. That's much more interesting.
So the broken line?
Yeah, I like the broken lines on trees.
Let it paint itself. Don't try to control this.
It's hot.
This is the magic of watercolor.
And go fast.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, big drops. Big drops. No, you gotta have more water on your brush.
Yeah,
See those big drops?
because I didn't understand it. was still
Yes.
that. You did that.
Yeah.
Like these.
The combination of those big and small are gonna help you. Just spatter some water on a piece of paper and draw a line through it and see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really it's been painting itself while I've been yakking, so it's getting more interesting. It's becoming a forest. I'll put a tree in the foreground.
So you'll know which ones. I think I
There's
have
a-
one rifle. And one that, and one.
There's a bigger tree in the foreground.
Those 2 guys, which are 2. Okay, but mostly I just bought sterlings.
Oh.
Okay, that's nice.
Look at all this painting itself.
Mhm.
My forest. Sometimes if you're undecided about what to paint, just do this. There's this becoming my forest now. Why not? Why not? My winter forest.
Yeah, gorgeous.
All from spatter, all from letting loose, all from just being free. I can spatter on top of that. I don't want to, but I'm going. I'm going to add a little dark right here. Add a little dark right there just to break it up. I can take my brush now, my dry brush. Here's my dry. Whoops, that's going to go in the wet. There's some texture that I was looking for, some texture. I'll put those trees in a little bit of grass too. There, I have a forest going. Kind of fun, huh?
Yeah.
Joe, if we're on Zoom, can I hold up and you can take a look?
Yes. Let me pin you.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Give the watercolor a chance to paint some of those puddles a little bit more instead of you trying to control it.
Okay.
This is pretty much painted itself. I mean, I'm a half painter. I only have to paint half a painting.
Okay.
The watercolor is going to paint half. That's what
So-
Nita Engel said. She's got a whole book.
So it's bigger puddles and let them kind of do their thing?
Yeah, it's a combination. It's variety. Everything. I think everybody votes for variety. It's less boring.
Okay.
So I have big spatters, small spatters, medium spatters, and I'm just figuring out. I'm gonna paint trees because they are susceptible to the spatter, and I'm gonna let them paint themselves. I'm not gonna paint individual leaves. I'm going to suggest them. In fact, that's a good word. Why we paint in watercolor, why I paint in watercolor. And I'm a big believer in just doing half a painting and let the watercolor paint the other half is suggestion. As I said in the demo, one of my rules it's not a rule, I don't believe in those. One of my guides is to know when I'm done, is to, I'm
That's
done
always
when I have enough left. I have enough left for the viewer to finish the painting.
Okay.
So, and that's usually before that alarm goes off, I've done too much. So let the viewer finish the painting. That's when you're done. You have enough left for that. Look, you're building a forest.
Yeah.
Joe,
about that?
can I show you mine? This is Debbie.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hang
I kinda
on.
Had to step out of the room for part of it, so I probably missed something, but
Let me pin you. Oh, yeah, and it painted itself. Look at that.
yeah, I left
Oh,
the room. and it
I
painted
love
itself.
that because look at all those beautiful shapes that it gave you that you could embellish. And I love the white space that you left. Very interesting shapes. Yes.
Thank
Frame
you.
it after it's dry.
Yeah, good idea.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that beautiful bleed I got, that background right here. Look at that. Oh my God, that's great.
It really is.
Yeah.
Look at that. Right here
Yeah.
and over here. Wow. See, I can't paint that. I can't copy that. I mean, I could never paint this again.
Mhm.
Joe, can I show you
Yay.
on mine? Joe?
Sure. Yep. I gotcha. Hang on. Who said that?
Karen.
Okay. Hang on. Let me pin you. Okay, cool. I still see some water on there. Look at all this beautiful stuff that happened. So let it happen some more.
Okay.
Smush around. If you remember that short video I showed you, she took advantage of that water drop right here. And
It's
those water drops, she actually put her there and made a little shape out of it.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Cool. Okay, anybody here want to show and tell? I'm sorry? Oh, okay. Oh, sure. That's me good. Stop share. It's very seldom that I do that. So let me,
You go to the
oh,
click participant
a participant,
right there.
okay.
Yeah. And then go to my name when my name come up.
Go to your where or
Oh,
your,
you have to click the participant, double click it.
yeah, okay,
Right next to my name right there.
okay.
And then go to,
Whoops.
whoop,
So I
whoop,
can.
like the participant, whoop, one more time. Okay. Yeah. Okay, make co-host. There
Okay,
you go.
there you go. Okay, cool. Okay, has everybody kind of got the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. I will take pics out of all this stuff and send it to you just for a reminder.
Photograph in front of that.
You want to
Sketchbook.
photograph
A
it?
sketchbook, please.
Oh, okay.
I don't have any 100% cotton, but Bob's coming back, so maybe he can do that. Michael's getting them.
Yeah, it's 100% cotton. Look at that. That just keeps painting itself. Look at that beautiful edge. Wow. I got to take a close up of that one.
And your tall tree looks nice too.
Anyway. Yeah. This is something I usually forget, but look at how all of this just disappeared in here
Uh-huh.
and it gravitated to somewhere else. And some of this has a nice edge to it, an outline edge, a little darker edge. Anyway, it's to me, it's making watercolor fun. I mean, it really is. I had the putts. Trying to take this off of here while it's still wet. There we go. I did it. Okay. So I will give you a little time. So what time is it? I think everybody's done. So we're going to paint this one next. So I'll give you a few minutes to you can draw this out or you can just start painting. I don't know what kind of a painter you are, but this directly relates to what we just did. So instead of trees, which those are, you can paint a little vase of flowers. See what tube paint will give you, there's better color too. to give you more powerful color. That's pretty pale.
Well, that is just the first with the layers and layers.
Well, you can save yourself a lot of grief by just mixing a mid-tone and then a dark instead of multiple layers.
Another thing what I would like to learn is how to correct when we make mistakes.
Okay. So you can see kind of how loose that is.
Oh, yeah.
Impressionistic, as somebody said.
I love that. What's the name of the crayons or the pencil when you?
Oh, I use,
Color erase.
yeah, just so you guys know, I use Cull Erase pencils because they're made by Prismacolor, but they will erase. They're called Cull Erase, and they're in the same rack next to the Prismacolor pencils. But I think these have pastel on because they will erase. See, I have that red pencil under here where I drew it. I could go back and even though it's got paint on top of it, I can pretty much erase it.
Here, what do you use to? Dude, I have.
May I see
one.
that?
Let me see what it
Here,
does.
just take a pic of it.
Here, use the good one. Actually, you can use this. It's a bit easier for you.
Anyway, so you can use your reference and just draw this out. You want to draw it out? You're gonna draw it out?
I don't know, are you going to draw it out? If you are, I have watercolor paper. You are
You
not
don't have to,
going
you can
make
just start painting anyway.
buy.
Do you put water on this?
Do we just put the drops or do we just put the water
Sorry.
where we want it?
Didn't mean to.
I'm going to go change my water.
Oh, and in the car is the little schedule.
But these, you put water on it? Yeah, it is erasable, it's not watercolor. It's erasable. Just to erase with this?
Yeah, because you
They
have
have
watercolor
watercolor, they
pencils.
have erasable, they have all kinds of color pencil. Let's see. Yeah, if it is, if it really is, where is it? It's an acrylic, so it's watercolor, it's acrylic color,
not wet.
watercolor.
No,
It
it's
is
not.
erased.
This is a watercolor.
So he uses this, so
Okay.
when he paint, it disappears.
First of all, there's no eraser on top. That's why
Is
you
that
have to
yours?
buy the right
No,
color.
it's his.
And second of all, this, when water added to it, bleeds out. And you can draw in the, wet. That one, it doesn't matter where you draw or add water to it. For the majority of it, it will not bleed. So as soon as you're done drawing that, you pass it back and off of line.
Okay, you don't have to do much drawing with this one,
That one.
except where do you want this vase? I put mine off to the side because I don't like stuff in the center. I balanced it. This is kind of off to the side. So. I think I'll do it to this side this time, just for fun. So there's my vase. Here's the bottom. And then I'm going to draw, I'm not going to draw all these petals. What I'm going to draw is this shape right here. So that's a shape. That's a shape right there.
The clump in the
And,
clump in the
then I
middle,
can-
right?
What?
Is it the clump in the middle, like the whole clump? In the middle, that's the important place?
No, not the middle, any place but the middle. I'm a rule of thirds. So there's a third, here's a third,
But I mean,
here's a
in the
third.
vase,
It's gonna
that-
fall.
I mean, in the vase, that clump of flowers you have, that whole thing is the important part, right?
Yeah,
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 that's the important part.
okay.
Yeah, this part right here. It's not the vase or vase.
Or the one,
And,
or the
I'm
ones
just
that go
doing
out
this-
further.
Yeah, those are just design things for balance. So
Right.
I've got a bunch of these guys going up, and I've got this little guy coming up and hooking. I'm going to make him hook over that way. There's a pod. Here's a pod. Here's a pod. See where I'm going with this?
Yeah,
I'm not trying to define too much. And here's a pretty good one that's defined. That's probably enough. Oh, I want to do this. Just for a reminder. So that's enough of a drawing for me. I've got all the important stuff. All the important stuff done. This vase is too wide, so I'm going to just erase that. Then there you go. That's all the drawing I usually do. I think everyone can see that, and that came from this. And when I start putting the water on, and I'm going to contaminate it so you can see how I do it, I'm going to leave basically this part dry. That's going to be my dry stuff. This is going to be dry. I want this side to be wet because I want that side of that vase to kind of disappear. And then I'm just going to randomly wet some places. But I think that is a pretty good, I'm comfortable with this design.
So the circle leaves are where you're gonna keep it dry.
I'm comfortable with that design as a design. That gives me enough leeway to take advantage of. If I draw it too tightly, what's going to happen? You're going to follow all that little drawing that you did. And you're not going to have the freedom to take advantage of what the watercolor is going to give you.
So this side's gonna be wet, or should I do just the opposite?
Well, I would keep this hard over here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. See, I have mine a little more centered on the page. Just a little bit. What are you going to put in here?
That's, you see, that's where I thought that this would be the wet side.
Oh, no, it's a random wet.
Okay, random wet, okay.
Yeah, it's just wet where you think you're gonna want soft edges and so on and so forth. So the one thing I am gonna use is I'm gonna use gravity because I want the paint to move. That's the reason you have all those things on your table. And I will, if you would like, I'll put this up here. Move this over for a second. Whoops, I didn't want to do that.
So your board is on ground.
Where is my print? Is that under here? I think you all have this up, but just for me to explain some stuff. There we go. I think everyone can see this, correct? Yes. Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm gonna leave my water slightly contaminated. And I'm going to have a paintbrush in one hand and a paper towel in the other hand. That's usually how I paint. Because if I don't like something, I can blot it up right away, or I can smush it, or I can lighten it, or I can dry off my brush. So I know I'm going to mix up a little kind of a greeny, gray greeny kind of color, just so you can see where I wet it. I think you'll be able to. I want this side of that vase to kind of disappear a little bit. So I'm going to put some water there. And I want to paint a kind of a round, oops, this my area. I don't need to do it everywhere. I don't want it to look cut out. So yes, I am going to do a little bit of that. I want these guys to be a little wet. I want some spatter up here for those lines to go through. So I'm pre-wetting. And it's going to make it more interesting, I think, if I do that. And maybe another, I don't know. I don't care. There, that's my pre-wet. And now I can start painting. Yay. I want that to stay wet, but I'm not going to do too much here, but look at that beautiful little edge that just happened there. That's great. And that's what's going to happen over here too. Look at that. I'm just kind of building this color. I don't care about this yet. So I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to take advantage of, go back to my greens because that's where I want the wet to happen. Some leaves going on in here. Maybe a little bit of green. I've definitely got some green going on down through here. Yes, that's nice and wet. I'm going to blur this out a little bit too. I just want that to stay shiny. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that vase is kind of done. It's leading me in. Now I can go back to my pink. Now that I've got these guys in there, I want to go back to my pink a little bit. Ooh, look at that. Look at that blend. I'm going to leave more white in here than I think. I have a nice hard edge there. Nice hard edge. Nice hard edge. Look at that start to come to life. I want to take advantage of those water drops, but not quite yet. I'm going to take that magenta or that alizarin magenta I'm going to add a little purple to it. I can do that two ways, by adding purple or ultramarine. So now I've got a little darker purpley kind of color. Cool. Kind of cool.
Which red did you use?
I used quinacridone rose or alizarin, something like that. It's actually magenta. So while this is still damp, I'm going to make some lines going up through there. And I'm going to turn the page because it's easier for me to do this from my shoulder. So I have some nice dry brush lines. That's a pretty pale pinky kind of color up there. Oh, look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at what's happening in there. That is really cool. That is really cool. Wow. I think so. I get excited, sorry.
Oh, it's great. Come to hear it. Okay. It's not wet. It dried, my paper dried.
Yeah, this is you have to kind of play with this and get used to it because your paper will dry out a little bit more rapidly than you think. So when I started painting, I knew this was going to be wet on dry. I don't have to worry about that. But now I want to take advantage of the wet on wet, and that's still damp. Look at that spread out. It's pretty cool.
It is very cool.
So I'm painting both of these kind of at the same time. This is dried out a little bit now up in here. So I'm going to add some darks to that. The big difference between the wet and the dry. Now that if you want to soften an edge, I just clean my brush. So I'm going to soften these edges slightly just by doing this.
Totally dried.
There you go. Anyway, I got to let that dry a little bit more. Now I'm gonna be concerned with my design. I need a little bit of more of this pink right up there. But I love what's happening with the spread. So I'm gonna give that a couple minutes to cook. But is this making sense to you guys?
Can't get mine to cook, but it does make sense. Here we go.
Now I'm gonna go get some fresh water. It's pretty dirty. By mixing all those reds and greens together, it neutralized it. Well, yeah, you do. That's good, except to start off with more water. Good.
With more water?
Yeah, because see this, that's what you want. These are a lot of hard edges. You see how those are varied. You can always go back and you, once that's dry, you can always go back and make hard edges. You know that's gonna dry lighter anyway. Hey, I think they're only open till noon. If you wanna check out the farmer's market. Well,
Going to inspect?
This is just a neutral tint. I've never, what is it?
Extra fine with the color, Daniel Smith.
Oh, that seems great. I can't see it.
Pink, blue, gray.
So that's good.
That will be for this.
Yeah, so there you go. And it's just,
I like
it doesn't take much, just very little.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And I hardly ever use those colors.
Oh, you did?
So, you know, just let you try some.
Thanks. Thank you.
Just a month ago. You don't. Well, then I'm so
These,
I did.
crayon, this does
No, I
not,
want to.
this does not go. Does not, no, does not.
The green.
Yes, look at this, look at this. It does not. This one does not, let's see, no, no, I don't like it.
Your color's too faint. It is something dark.
It's not
Well, I'm
watercolor,
trying to bring in my dark.
it's not watercolor, yeah.
Yeah, the maroon was dark, but I didn't use enough of it.
No, it's not, I think it is.
Yes,
No, it's
agreed.
very bad, if it is, it's very bad.
I'm always shy.
I don't like it, think it's,
Yeah, I gotta go.
no, may not be,
All right.
Any dark colors.
it's erasable. Yeah, but the,
I
the,
have
a watercolor one, let me show you.
This is dark. Look at that. That's dark, but that's.
Yeah, use your, see this one,
Mhm.
this one is,
Oh, that's a pretty color.
yeah, you don't have to, you can use any color. you want. Yeah. This one is a
Yeah, that's what I
watercolor.
was just gonna
This
do.
is not the one I want.
Yeah, but that's what I'm just gonna do.
No, you don't give it in water, you.
Put money in to the cup when you need something to do.
You ruin it, you don't dip it in water, you draw it first, and then you put water on it. Yeah, let me see. You draw it
I don't have
first.
any dollar bills. I'll look and see.
With the coin in.
Yeah, whatever I have.
Oh, I see, yeah, it is nice. And
Good
then you
looking.
put water, a brush and. I like it. I like it. I think you would like it because you like to control, this has more control. It's hard, you like to control, then this is a good medium.
So while I've been gone, this has been painting itself. Yay!
It doesn't have.
No, it has.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
a
the beauty of it.
watercolor.
Now you can go back and you can lift in here.
Watercolor, color pencil.
You can do anything you want.
Yeah, it is.
The Winston Newton and everything has it.
That is where it should be.
See how I have that large variety?
Oh, that's gorgeous. Really, really.
And
And
it
you
it really
doing
is.
it again and again, Joe,
Oh,
and
yeah.
just not getting the loose,
It's how you put,
edges.
it's how you put that, pre-wet.
pre-wet on there,
It's a pre-wet with a purpose.
pre-wet with a purpose.
Yeah, I have a plan. I'm gonna call it pre-wet, planned pre-wet.
My plan is to throw the trash
Well,
can out.
you'll get better and better at it. Oh, beautiful. See how that's just, now you're gonna have
They
partly
came in
more white
12
in there.
sets with all the colors. If you want.
I know,
threw away
mine
my
is not
first
like
one.
All the colors.
Mine is not like yours.
Okay.
Yay!
I know.
It's yours.
No, there's no way on
No, because,
Everybody has their own style.
but that's what I'm saying, I want a suggestion to the road, and I wanna take the road
Chilly, isn't
and
it?
go my way.
Oh, of course. That's
So what do you think?
Don't copy me, my God.
How did you do the bottom of the bench? Is this the pull of the straight up?
No, that's just one paper. I haven't used the scraper again.
That bottom here, from here to here.
When I first started painting, I left that dry right there, this side wet. I just went with some blue. Yeah, everybody's got their own art DNA. So for God's sake, don't try to copy me. What I want you to do is, if you want to, I think it's valuable. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this. It's the process.
yeah.
That's the whole point. It's the process. Everybody has their own style.
Joe, what do you
I don't
think?
have any weight.
What do you talk about?
Yes, it's beautiful in here. You can paint a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
You'll have better
What about
results.
the shading? Should I go back and?
Yeah, let it dry and then just go back with, that's wet on dry. Those hard shapes. It's wet on dry, so that has to dry for, well, just a little bit, a few minutes. Anyway, so I've got something going here, I think, if I don't screw it up. So I love this little, where this disappeared because I put that spatter in there. All those stems or grass aren't the same. See those little things, put that in front. All these blur out as they go outside the edge. The focus is in here. And once that's dry, I can go back and I can actually add some brighter color, more pure color, richer. For example, if I just take my, it's not red, it's magenta, it's quinacridone rose.
Yeah.
So there's that. So now I can go back in here with that bright, look how bright that pink is. Look how bright that pink is.
Yeah.
What
Oh,
kind of
wow,
brush?
look at
Do
that.
you use a round brush or I see that.
Now I can go back and I can put that on top of that green transparent watercolor. Works really well for that. Oh, sure. I've got a little pinkies coming in here, maybe a little shape right there. This is fast approaching my alarm. A little bit of dark right there, just to complete that side. I can also lift. I put this on here. I want to lift a little bit right here, if it will let me. Lift and blot. You can putz with this for a long time. For all you oil painters coming with that baggage, now you can go back and you can Milk it. But I like the feel of this. I'm going to take a little bit of a different color, a little bit more of a light green, and I'm going to put a little spatter in here. Just to kind of glue it together, connect it. And that does not go everywhere. Just be very, very picky when you put your spatter in. That looks dark right now, looks too much for me, but it's going to dry back. Cool. One more little dark for me. A little dark over here. There we go. Sometimes these little wedgies, I'll call them wedgies, I mix up a little dark, and they're just little triangles. I think I'll put one here. They give this depth. And adds a little contrast for a little more sparkle. Anyway, I think this, for me, is better than the photograph.
Oh, yeah.
So that's just me. I love the way all that stuff painted itself. I love what happened here. I love these edges, these backgrounds just soften. It really brings the sharper focus right in this area. I'm tempted to make this darker down here, but there's no reason to. It's just going to, right now, this leads you up into that the area where you want me to look. And yes, if a singer sergeant could use white paint, I could use white paint. He said it was okay. I talked to him lunch the other day.
So did I.
Oh, you're at his grave.
So if I was going to use white paint, I'll just show you how I would use it very sparingly. Clean water. See if I can actually get some white paint out of this jar of almost used up white paint. So I have this beautiful white here. I haven't used any white paint. I want to connect it to the other side of this. So I'm just going to use some white paint right here and a little bit right here. And that gives me a couple little negative painting sky holes to bring this through. And that's enough. But that's how I would use white paint.
Some white paint.
White paint somewhere, sure.
Because I'm obsessed with white.
So. Let's see, I think you could use a little something happening in here, so. I'm just gonna make a little, I don't care about this. I'm gonna put just a little, see how that's starting to sparkle that up? And complete, maybe I'll let this go all the way down
Yeah.
into there. Here, you can use it. Yep, there you go. By the way, if you're gonna use white paint, do not use the tube. This is Dr. Martin's bleed proof white. It's much more opaque. It'll make any of your transparent watercolors into opaque watercolors very easily. There are a lot of people who use, if you have a light blue and you've already put down a brown and you want to put a light blue on top of it, what's going to happen? It's going to neutralize both those colors. It's going to be a gray. So add just a little bit of white paint to that blue and it's going to stay blue on top of that brown. It'll stay more pure color. So anyway,
May I have the white?
Janine Gazia,
I'm
I
totally
don't know how you
French
pronounce her
lady.
name, that French lady. She does that all the
How
time.
do I keep from overworking it? I mean, I've already overworked all of that.
Okay, I'll get out the ruler.
What you're doing?
Hold out your hands.
Yeah. Do you want white?
I'm gonna strap that alarm to
No,
your
but it's
shoulder.
his one. It's different. Don't need this. I know.
But
Okay.
is this,
I love the idea of those wedgies, but does that represent negative space? I'm trying to figure out, like, I didn't know where to put them. Do you just look for a good placement and stick it in like it's a little?
Well, I look for a design.
Yeah,
I don't like wallpaper because wallpaper is not very interesting.
yeah,
So I'm looking to
Just
design, if I have and think in clusters.
oh, okay.
So I have always think small, medium, and large, whatever
Alright.
you do, spatter, small, medium, and large.
Mhm,
Subject, small, medium, and large,
mhm,
negative space,
mhm.
small,
Okay.
medium, and large. I have a cluster of them because that looks more natural.
Okay.
That's how. Here's some white.
Oh, I have.
Oh, you have some
Yeah,
white.
I put some on.
Okay, cool. That's a kind of a cool little painting.
It's
Thank you.
this one, yeah?
Yes, that's what I would recommend.
okay, time to throw it away.
This is kind of a good example of the wet dry combo, this painting, because it has several different components. I've got wet on wet, I've got wet on dry, I've got randomly wet, which gives me all this beautiful, I couldn't paint this, and it also gives me a dry on dry. So this is a pretty good example. So if you're looking for something to paint, I'm sure everybody's got something in their window or a garden, or what doesn't make any difference what the subject matter is, but this is really a good one for nature. You know, just find something, especially with fall.
Yeah.
We'll paint that this afternoon. If you've already finished, then try that little exercise we did at the very beginning. Again, we'll break at noon. And then this afternoon, I think that we'll answer questions. I want to paint fall. And then I want to paint something else I haven't decided on. Probably the goldfish. But I'm not sure. Yes?
Okay, I'm happy I'm happy with finally what's happening in here. I like that. I like how I'm afraid to put the bright color up there because it'll bring too much. out. And the thing is, this is the branch that fell
Reflection or
and it's
something.
dying, but
And then
I have
wanted
to
this
have
flower
some of the
to
branch
want
down here, don't I?
Some white.
Or can I just leave it
And
that, is there enough
just put
purple
there.
and color to pull it across? Or should this color be up here? So that-
I know what you're saying.
What I would do according to the reference, and see this graph,
Yeah.
see that's down.
Usually
put a couple of
I leave
those
this out
Wait,
and
up here?
use some of this
Yeah.
color.
Where it goes, turn the page, see, this is my reference.
Uh-huh.
Is it easier to do it this way? Or is it easier just to do it this way?
Oh, it's easier to go in this way, upside down for me.
Horizontal,
Horizontal.
because now you're painting from your shoulder.
Yeah,
You're not painting from your wrist.
yeah, okay, so,
Whatever you can paint from your shoulder, it's much better if you're making these long sweepy lines. Yeah,
Better than the first.
yeah. I'm trying to
Yes.
Figure out which one I wanna do.
cool.
Because I like this.
Better than the
Yeah,
first.
that's what-
Okay, now,
I have to let it dry a little bit. before
let
I
it
darken
dry a
it.
little bit. You can add,
That's what
it pretty much, it's,
I know.
it's pretty much done.
Oh,
This is cool.
Oh,
I know it is a terrible part. This was for the
There.
addition.
Now you've got some mystery in
The
there.
second time, a little bit more mystery.
Yeah,
That was for
Yeah.
that.
And then I need to probably do it again, right?
yeah. I want everybody, at least this morning, I think this is a good example of what happened here. If you pre-wet. It gives some mystery to it. It gives some interest to it. So does anybody have any questions on what we just did?
Can I show you? This is Debbie.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah,
Very nice, Debbie.
yes. Yeah, you're very good at shapes and your drips are great. It's dripping. But those are great.
They just became great. Well,
I love
brought the
drips.
darkness
I don't
through
do
the-
enough.
It got the darkness through more than I had it, which is good.
Yeah. So. Does anybody, Sandra, Carol, Karen, Peggy?
Well, let's see here.
Okay, let me see if
Not as loose as I would like.
there's. That's okay. You're just doing this for the first time. You don't have to work so hard to make this happen. It probably took me half as many strokes to paint that as it did you. You don't have to keep touching it. So
Right,
again, it's
When
back.
you-
It's back to golf. It's back to golf. The fewer the strokes, the better the result.
Okay.
So
Hi, I'm ready to show you.
anyway. Oh yeah. Oh great. Look at how nice and look at that freedom she has.
Oh,
Beautiful.
that's really,
Yeah.
we love it. That's lovely.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Okay, you can take a nap this afternoon. You don't have to come back.
I passed the class. Thank you.
You did it.
I think I use too much water, but I need to wait for it to dry before I can do anything.
Well, I don't know that you use too much water. See what's happening right in here? That's lovely. You just, I think you're onto something. I think you just need to do more of it.
Okay.
So it's kind of a two-step process. Instead of, I mean, a lot of people teach paint wet and wet first, let it dry, and then paint wet on dry on top of that. And you can re-wet and whatnot. But if you start off with randomly wetting, for us, the most important part of watercolor is the paper, leaving enough of the paper. So you can always go back and tell, yeah, that's great. I love what happened when you picked it up. I don't do enough of that.
I sprayed a lot more water on it. and
Hold it up, Debbie.
Yeah, there you go.
Got all the drips.
Debbie, hold it up.
You know, yes, you guys are all masters of the universe. I haven't told you that, but you are all masters of the universe. You can pick this up. You can paint what you want and discard what you don't want. You can pick it up, move it around, spray it, control it until you lose control, hopefully, and let the watercolor paint itself. I'm sure you've all noticed that when you go back and you try to fix something with watercolor, it usually does not work. It's too many touches on the paper, and it's degrading the paper, it's degrading the color. So just put it down and give it a chance. Give it a chance to paint itself. You know, it's almost like the playing chess and punching the clock. The moves are not, they don't take very long. Be thoughtful about the stroke before you put it on, and then put it on with confidence. And that doesn't take very long. Be thoughtful about your next stroke, your next color. Oh, you got your tamale. Yay. Yeah, so mine are a little pinker and I don't care. I really like the way the vase worked out. It looks shiny compared to the rest of the stuff.
Do I have time to start it all over again, or? Do I have time to start it all over again, or we have to take a break?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, you can paint this as many times as it takes for you to get a result that you like. I mean, you've already got equity in this.
What happens if we go back when it's dry?
I'm sorry?
What happens if we go back when it's dry? Does it lose its spontaneity then?
Well, usually when you go back when it's dry is like when I go back with white paint. It's not very much.
Oh, okay.
I just want to put in a
Because I
couple
want
of
to
crisp.
pick a little.
I did that here. See that bright color right there?
Mhm.
I went back after it was dry. I just
Okay.
added a little bit of brighter color because with the water, it's going to dissipate. It looks right when it's wet. It's wrong
Mhm.
because it's going to dry out
Oh,
lighter.
okay.
Joe, did
Yeah.
you use white to separate some of those flowers?
No,
That's just white.
the only
paper.
white that I
Okay.
used was these two
Okay.
marks right here.
Oh, all right.
This I just painted. I left more white
Oh, okay.
than I thought.
Mhm. Okay.
Always try and leave more white paper than you think.
Mhm.
It's so easy to go back and tint it or get rid of it or cover it up, but it's really hard to retrieve it. You can only do that with white paint by lifting,
Mhm.
and that's not the best result.
No, that's horrible.
So
Unless you have the best paper in the world.
That's lovely, Joe. Yeah.
yeah, that one worked. That was my best one. I painted it like 4 or 5 times, you know.
Oh.
So I learned how to paint it. See, I painted it 4 or 5 times, and now I finally got
That's
one.
the secret, the painting it 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, exactly. Well, don't give up on a subject. I mean, just because it didn't turn out, you learned a lot, right?
Mhm. Yes.
So don't give up on it. A lot of people give up on it too soon.
You didn't hear me rip my paper, did you? My first one went in the trash.
Oh.
And by the way, you can take pics of anything you want around the studio or
Thank you.
what I passed around. I don't care.
I painted these pretty good for the first time.
Are we gonna break that down?
What do you think?
Are we gonna bring it out?
You like it?
Yeah, I think that I can do a better job with the white. I have to play. Yours is better. It's not like,
So you just spotted it around. just pick a spot, small, medium and large.
It's different than.
I put down that white with a purpose. Where's the light coming from? That's a highlight, that's a highlight. You don't want wallpaper.
Yes, yeah.
Good.
You know, I broke my arm, I was walking the dog. I broke my right arm, my dominant.
You
arm.
broke your arm playing hockey, I know.
But then I had to paint with my non-dominant. And actually,
Better.
it turned out better sometimes.
Well,
But the non-dominant,
we're
one,
painting with our eyes.
yeah,
We're executing with our physical.
but it was surprising that I never thought that you could use the other hand. The other hand
Oh,
was
yeah.
meant to it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Why not? Good for you.
Yeah, mine didn't go. How much did mine paint?
You're a mile away from painting stuff as much as I want to.
No, I guess at noon we're gonna take a break.
That reminds me.
5 till, huh? Okay. I guess the hours.
Oh. This way. So how long is the break? Course of the main. How long is the break on? Oh, you can go this way.
No way in the back.
How long do we usually break? We break at noon.
Go around and they come in through the front, where the supermarket, farmer's market
Oh,
is.
is he crazy right now?
No, I think they should get closing.
You go in.
It's still through the farmer, just keep going through the gates.
How long do you want to break?
Orange cones. Follow
Half
the
an
orange
hour.
cones. You'll see the
Okay, I'll be back at 12:30.
Okay,
that's
good.
Okay, be back ready to go at 12:30. Okay.
Yeah, as long as you see the market, just go through the gate.
All right.
Is the market still open?
Yeah, go rush right now.
Oh, okay,
It closes at noon. They start packing up at noon.
okay.
We don't get this to bleed on the left side.
They have food,
Paint dry.
they have tamale,
What?
they have tamale.
Yeah. They have some, I have some, yeah.
Tamale.
I have,
Anybody want the tamale? I got 2 more.
oh no, I'm fine. I have sushi.
Yeah, by the time I
So
get
have
it.
we-
Yeah, to take home.
If you wanna split some sushi, I have it.
You want
I
tamale?
think it's okay.
I'm having better luck with this.
I know.
Or I could,
Once it's dry.
do you want,
I don't want.
it's, you want just have a official one? There you go.
You want half?
I have sushi in there.
Oh, there's 4.
Oh, you have 4 there. Excuse me, we'll use his. Sam, you want one? Go down there. It's Miles.
Yeah, so this is the guy's bathroom, I can't have to go access.
Or you want?
I've got your sushi in there. So,
Thank you.
I know, the one.
So like tamale.
Pat and Willie.
what?
Oh, what? No, I'm just mistaken.
It's fun.
Oh,
And we're learning, I'm learning.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
me too.
Not easy, I'm not using.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
I know.
I threw everything.
We both left.
That's okay.
Same.
Jason, I'm on. Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, I should have used that.
Oh, my God.
You said nine.
You want to have one? Oh, one. Huh? The whole one?
Love tamales, or no sauce.
You know.
I'm big for sticking with some tamale sauce, it's just kind of fun.
You want it?
I know, I thought I heard the microwave next to me go off, so I heard the microwave was very nice.
Yeah, just so I told
There you go.
What is from?
Well, that yours is mild sauce. And see, you want chicken?
You've been on 2 minutes? About 2 minutes?
No, I did it for 3 minutes. I wanted to do 2 and then, because I think I dry it out and then if you need more, you could do it. I know.
Great.
It's all from-
A lot of experience with it. You know, in southern Arizona watercolor.
Very happy.
Yes, yes, it is. Yeah, a lot of artists. live
Not like a big league, it's a small league. Four was wet, it's not part of it.
The valley is the valley of the itself is the center. And it's,
Right.
and it's different.
Right.
So we don't,
You're right about that.
we don't have quite the same
Mhm.
focus on our art.
Not sure the microwave up.
But this is nice, this is, oh, this is, I've never been here before, it's great.
I can wait.
You press the button down below.
You know what that's missing?
My daughter-in-law kept me a little bunch of so cute.
Poking your prodding at the microwave, not realizing there's another one.
So you had to explain it to somebody and somebody's standing there, so you knew which one to do.
Well, I didn't know which one. So-
But you figured it out. You are fantastic. You need to take credit where you can go.
Actually, I need the fork. No, no, there.
That's probably what you should.
Well, we're using the wrong microwave, there's two over there, and
Oh.
one without a button and one with a button.
Oh, okay, so the one that's being used is.
The one with the button.
No, those shark apartments
Well, no, there was one on the floor,
on the floor.
those lily.
Yeah,
pads.
that's acrylic.
Oh, that's acrylic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those two, and the one sitting on top and those
Those are
grouping
acrylic.
there.
Okay.
I paint acrylic. I used to teach acrylic, but
Oh.
it's I don't have enough time, and it's a whole different.
Mhm.
I paint acrylic just like watercolor,
Oh, okay.
washes,
Mhm,
and then I had the luxury. I was trained in opaque watercolor,
mhm. Okay.
so that's
Oh, you
like
were-
from art school.
Oh.
So I like that's my favorite medium is opaque watercolor, not transparent watercolor,
Oh, okay.
because I can go back and I can change it.
Yes,
Because
the opaque watercolor is coming back. A
It
lot of
is,
people
it's
are
very
seeing it.
popular, yeah,
Well, it's more forgiving because you can go back and it's due at 9 o'clock in the morning.
yeah.
I'm working on a job and I gotta make
Yeah.
changes, of course.
Yeah,
But it's all water driven,
Yeah.
water media,
mhm,
ink, opaque watercolor, transparent watercolor, acrylic, it's all water media. So that's what I like.
yeah,
Are these all yours?
they're beautiful,
My God.
really beautiful.
Oh, I've got drawers full of shit.
Is that Mount Moran, that the painting that sits on top of the lily pads?
Which one?
The one sitting on top of the lily pads, that painting, is that Mount Moran? You-
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh, you don't know, okay.
When I painted it, could have been, I have no idea.
Oh, okay,
I just like to paint landscapes.
yeah.
And I want to remind me, I want to show you guys, you guys can fill out your left brain, right brain at lunch, just for fun.
Funny is, mostly farmers markets. There also might be Woodland Hills kind of community farmer market. I recognize one. On different days, yeah.
Bob asked me, how long have you been painting, Warren? How long have you been painting now?
Is this what you've always done, painting? Does anybody here have that the white tree? The what? The
I'm
white
sorry?
tree in the park. Have you been
The
painting?
white one
How long have you been painting?
Well, I went to art school when I was a kid, right out of high school, so I was in the business forever. I'm still in the business. I still have a marketing company. I still do illustration occasionally, but most of the stuff I do is design. logos, infographics, stuff like that.
Really, I love the fact that you do everything, that you don't have to do just
Well,
one thing.
I'm curious. That's what drives me.
Period.
I'm, curiosity drives you. Drives me. So I gotta try everything.
Well, I've been waiting. I've got 60,000 photos in my phone because
Yep.
I can't stop. They look much too interesting. This has to buy.
I've got enough paintings on my phone to last the next 100 years.
I've been waiting 40 years to do this, 50? 50 years to do this.
There you go. Look at that.
Better?
Yeah,
I'm
look at
using
that.
better
Look at that
paper.
happen. Look at those nice change in the edges.
Oh, is it?
It's the paper, Joe.
It is.
Are you guys Zoomers all on lunch break? I hope. I hope you
Going-
overheard that conversation.
I'm having fun with
On lunch break.
Yes. And I'm going to shut off my video because I can't stand to watch people eat on Zoom. Sorry.
I agree.
Sorry, I have a tendency, I have a tendency to interrupt people. I apologize,
That's-
but I just can't stop it.
I'm ADD. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I have ADD.
Yeah, mostly bees.
Mostly because. But I love design. I
Yeah.
love composition. So I've got to do this, I've got to do this, and sometimes do that, but it's a combination, you know?
Yeah, you know what mine was out of 10?
What?
It was split in half.
You're split in half. No, I'm a B.
I was split in half.
Mine is a B.
Yeah, I'm a five. I'm a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm a 5, 6.
I only have 3 A's, the rest of them are B.
Paula, do you get enough of this? I know you have to leave early.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
I understand and I think I do. I just.
Well, from then on, it's just a matter of practice painting. It's just a matter of painting.
Well, and I have some of the ones from other workshops up on the wall.
Mm.
And it's a process.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Okay, can we photograph some of your stuff for inspiration of what you paint? Because this is, I know this is with salt and doing it, but I like the image within the image, and I'm always putting an image over top of an abstract background.
Uh-huh.
And so I was just looking if I could just photograph like that section or that section of the wing or little parts of your paintings, not your whole painting.
That takes up, the biggest part of that is not the painting, it's the design.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
those are not easy.
No, I don't want easy.
The cowboy was the first one I did.
Yeah, I love it. I love
like
it.
that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's when to get the loose back, wasn't doing it anymore. Yeah, because the negative and positive and the ice,
Mhm.
it works in that negative and positive, working back and forth, push and pull. Everywhere, that one in the fire up there, the landscape in there is pushing and pulling. This is amazing, the speckle. And I like how you draw the.
See,
wheels
that's
back in, it pulls
watercolor.
them back.
That's watercolor.
That's watercolor?
Oh, yeah, I think
Yeah.
you used the,
Yeah,
this, yeah, exactly.
Did you work as it dried?
you blow watercolor
Cover it up with
using
this,
this.
and you
Oh,
blow it.
all
Yeah,
right.
mhm.
You put that in your paint, a little jar full of paint, blow through it.
Yeah, he's got
It's
it.
an airbrush. It's-
All right.
You're the air.
Oh,
And you have to cut, templates, briskets
okay.
for those other shapes.
You cut your shapes and you blow it on.
Yep,
Wow.
I know, it's a pain in the ass. I've done 2 of them and that's.
But the result is amazing.
Yeah.
The result is exciting.
Okay. Was that a yes? That a no? That could photograph a little part of your painting, not your painting, but just part of it?
I designed the double image
Yeah.
in Photoshop.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
I do it on computer.
I can't, I'm not good at computer.
I understand you do.
I wish I was. It used to
You
be.
do
Oh, here.
weekly Zoom?
My computer died. Husband took it over. I have 2 laptops and I have an iPhone. My computer.
Oh, all in there.
Okay. So, great. I had it all set up and then he kind of. Thank you. Moved some stuff into his office. And then I got a bigger place. For my skills. I used to program a computer. I mean. I used to put RAM on it. I mean, we had those skills. but I lost it.
Joe.
Lost it. Kids. Poor kids.
Joe, what
Oh,
should I do
oh, fine.
more? Where,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to do, really, because
Tell me how, and I'll write it all down.
Look at your reference.
And then be mine.
Look at your,
I mean,
look at your reference. It's pretty flat light, but that's going to tell you what to do.
then I had to quit. I went and became a nurse. I filled had all sorts of nursing.
Find some of this.
Got it.
I have a whole gallon.
Anytime I do something, it's good.
Because I love us so much.
You're hooked.
No doubt. That's sweet that I. Well, I breathe.
That's what I got the arm and dislocated the elbow.
No, it's my rib.
Okay.
Bad enough. I'm looking after.
Oh. Yeah, but it healed and I'm still doing PT.
Don't splatter, right?
But the elbow, I was standing with the dogs and they pulled both, I had 2 dogs, they pulled, and in order to keep from hitting my face on the cement, I put my arm out and I looked up and I could see the elbow. And so, if there were 3 people there at that depth, we had dog falls too, so you have a dog be careful.
It was preferred loose, but I lost it. I was not
Exactly.
feeling for 20 years.
Oh, that's great.
That's one in the museum.
Very cool.
But I don't, I'm like you, well, not like you, I'm not as good as you, but I'm all over. Sorry.
So,
Oh, by the way, if you see Penny, tell her back at you.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah.
And she will get a good laugh out of it. But you see, I do this too.
Oh, I love it. I'm graphic.
Yeah, I am
Like-
too,
I like graphic.
you too.
that's just the way it is.
But I like this painting because of the design.
Stuff breaks,
Uh-huh.
and especially if we've got dogs. I don't.
There you go. There you go. Now you're doing, made that stand out.
Friends that are unexpectedly coming, but I'll be sorry.
My stuff is going
They're
everywhere.
stuff this afternoon. So maybe you just.
Joe, where are you?
Gotta get out.
I'm here.
Okay,
Let me pin you.
I attempted something. I gotta loosen up more.
It's out of focus.
Huh?
Oh, I know why. Because you have your blur background on. There you go.
Oh,
Hey, that's pretty good. Look, a nice definition in there. Yes. Yeah, just keep using the applied, the random, the planned wet. Let's put it
okay.
that way. The
Okay.
planned wet. I want this side out of focus. I want this out of focus and just put it there.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Cool.
thanks. Not easy. Mm. Okay.
Oh. I thought, what's the plan?
What's your name? If we had an earthquake, we would survive. As a group, we would survive.
Did you say we can take a picture of anything?
No, you can paint anything.
Picture.
Oh, yeah, you can take pictures of anything you want. I don't care.
It's quite pretty. That's why I say painting might be drunk. I'll say 5-year-old. They usually say 3-year-old. That's a good point.
I like the ones that see on others.
Yeah, I think so.
I
Oh,
thought
that's
that
it.
that my daughter always says the old people's
Well, I
way.
follow a particular
But
set of
others
these
say
days.
old people's
It's not
way.
easy
I'm
now,
not
so
sure.
we're gonna do that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
good.
really bad. Oh, no, your own colors.
I just brought my bookmark.
Somebody's got.
Oh, you brought Yeah.
It's just a little bit.
This one is my favorite and I saw it on the website.
It's like, but look,
This
this
is
is my left
beautiful.
arm, but I used to. It's getting the fingers are not that strong, but it's better.
Yeah, here's kind of a,
Oh, I had the same. This
I also had
And
this
so
book.
it's sort of.
these three are kind of out of the same,
I put them in the oval.
same,
Reminds me of like-
Oh, yeah. I got it. at the
these three are kind of out of the same mold.
I peeled.
Did you go somewhere or is it just a picture? you-
No, I just paint, I like to paint graphically style.
Okay.
Just out of your mind.
I
Yeah.
never tried that.
That's kind of what comes out.
It's ready to eat.
Right.
You don't want to fall.
I like to paint shapes.
I could see it, yeah. I like
So
it.
that's kind of what it's about for me.
How do you do that speckle and then the bare inside?
Then to soften it.
I start with masking fluid. I paint the bare first. I put masking fluid, then I paint the background. I just do a painting inside of that window.
So this
You-
is masking.
Some of this is masking, some of it's white paint.
That's beautiful.
But I messed up my computer so much. I got password. I went with a mouse.
I remember you were sort of,
Well.
you couldn't get the messages.
You don't want to. You don't want to do it. Not to, not, you down that down.
Here, I gave you a card with all the information.
This year, do you have anything this year or you don't know yet?
I've got a workshop next weekend in Torrance,
Oh, I cannot drive there.
but it's the same workshop.
Right. Oh, I love this one. Really nice.
Glen Hills, so that's far. I lived in Dalton, he lived in Dalton. I come here every time we have a pass.
Yeah. Well, I can come Saturday and Sunday. I can come.
No, it's normally it's once a month on Saturday, and then he have other classes. Yeah, I come once a month on Saturdays. Where do you find the? Does he have a website? No, you give him your email. Oh, okay. He will let you know when there is a class. You respond if you come. If you don't respond, then he won't put the name on. Thank you. Just give him your email, because I come every Saturday, once a month, it's the third Saturday, like this, the third. I love to come. It's not so far, it's half an hour. Oh, yeah. I like the in-house, in person. He's very open. He helps you develop your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Good.
This is what I like. I love green.
We got it too, right? We got it too?
Sounds like my phone is ringing. San Luis Obispo.
Joe,
Yes.
do you have do you have,
Sorry?
can you take my email? Should I give you my email to edit?
Just send me an email. My email's on the card. Then I'll have your contact information,
Yeah.
your name, and
Once you have your contact information, he'll let you know when we have classes.
Yeah.
What is it?
glasses. I'm going to share my screen real quick, and I want to show everybody something while we're still on break. And I haven't stopped the recording, so yes, we're catching everybody eat lunch. Who cares? So we're done with this guy. So I don't know if anyone knows this, they probably don't. A few people do. I fell down the AI rabbit hole 4 or 5 years ago. So
What
I've
rabbit
been doing
hole?
it for a long time. We're learning about it. The AI
Oh,
rabbit
okay,
hole.
okay.
Artificial intelligence, and there was a big
Yes.
controversy. Oh no, artists did all that kind of
Yes.
crap. But they're not, because it's going to make traditional hands-on art even more valuable,
Right, I agree.
I believe. So do not be afraid. So this is a painting I did. Some of you who know me, fire is a beautiful subject for painting with watercolor.
Mhm.
So I painted a lot of fires. There's some hanging on the wall there. So here's what I want to show you. I'm going to show you this painting. And then I'm going to show you this. So you can take any of your art. You can take any of your art and bring it to life. So here's that same here's that same painting.
Oh. And that's using AI?
And I think I have that, if I had that looped, but that's the painting. I mean, if I start it right here, that's the actual painting at the very beginning.
Hmm.
Anyway, it's very fascinating. I took this as a piece of art. This is my art.
Mhm.
Whoops. It's gonna have to go back to the beginning. There's my abstract painting, kind of a waves, and that's what it did for that. And what's amazing is this one, which I'll put under the camera for a second. I wanted to bring this one to life. And I'll show you that. That painting there. So that's a Colorado sky. That's the mountains. I've got a lot of friends who live in Colorado. So just look at that painting for a second and remember it. And this is what happened to it.
What software do you use?
Oh,
Look
wow.
at that.
Yeah. Now, what would be the
That is
purpose
from
of?
upload. That. What would be the purpose of it?
Yeah.
I think it's exciting as hell. I think if you had
I mean,
that
it looks
painting
exciting.
with a screen, if you had that actual painting and a screen, a monitor hanging next to it, and you could
Oh,
bring that painting to life,
wow.
that's what it would be. I see this as a really brilliant gallery
That is
setting
nice.
where you
You're
could bring
right.
any painting to life.
What
Wow.
software do you use?
That's amazing.
Software, it's called Pixverse.
Pixverse?
Pixverse. You could bring any one of your paintings to life and it retains the style.
Is it for free or it's
Yeah, it's free to start with.
to
It's like
start?
all the stuff. It's free to start with. I think
Is it
I
an app?
paid
Is that an
12
app?
bucks or something.
Is that an app, Joe?
Yes, it's called Pix.
Oh, I see it
Yes,
over the Pixverse. Okay.
Pixverse.
VERS. Okay.
Yeah, and here's a painting that a friend of mine here, one of the artists did. It was an acrylic
Cute.
painting, and I prompted it with, I said, "Turn head and blank eyes." And so that was just a piece of flat art. So that's what happened.
Wow.
Here's a painting that I've had that you've all seen. This is a turtle,
Oh my gosh, the turtle.
and this is actually the painting.
Wow.
So you
That is
asked the
cool.
AI to like bring it to life, kind of, sort of?
This is actually the
It's an app.
painting, and what happens is yes, there's the turtle. That's what I uploaded, that image, and I
Uh-huh.
said turtle swimming gently or
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
Anyway, that's
There
what
you
it gave
go.
me.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that
This
is.
is a snapshot of my I don't know if I have it in here. That's a painting I recently did for my brother-in-law for his golf tournament. We're all veterans, and I wanted the flag blowing in the background.
That's
Mhm.
nice.
So that was fun. But you could take almost anything. Here's a duck. I said turn head, and I panned
That
up.
is so cool.
So yeah. And here is a abstract paint. Here's another abstract painting. Whoops, maybe it's this one. Yeah, there's another abstract painting. It's a
Wow.
watercolor, but look what it turned into.
Wow.
Oh, gee.
You
That's
know,
amazing.
that first freeze image is not all of these are going to turn out, but like this, you all see the bear here. You asked me about the bear. This is what happened. I've got a bear that's a double exposure that looks like this that I'm doing for a show. And it looks like this. So that's my bear.
That's cute.
So this is what happens. This is what happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah,
that's kind of
he
interesting.
dropped his. Ah, I love it.
I met that bear. in
Anyway,
Alaska.
Very nice.
yeah, this one
That's
this one
fun.
astounded me because this is This is just a flat painting.
Mhm.
Well, no, it's not that one. Sorry. I don't think it's, no, it's not that one. It's, oh, maybe it is that one. Here, no, this one. This is just a flat painting. Up that Central Park.
That's Central Park.
That was done from a painting I did of Central Park. Anyway, this one was amazing because that was just a static fireman, and I couldn't believe they made him move. I mean, he
Jeez.
actually moves, but he retained all my watercolor style.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And the last couple, here's a snapshot my daughter sent me, and it was just a flat picture. And I said, turn head and blink eyes. And this is my dog. Same thing, turn head and blink eyes, just from a snapshot.
This is scary.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Ooh,
It's really cool.
this is where we're headed. This is where we're headed.
That's
That's
just
nice.
your ordinary watercolor, but
That's
look
nice.
what it did to it.
Wow. You're right. That would be
Anyway,
nice in the
so I thought
gallery.
I'd share that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's called Pixverse, and you can
Pixverse.
upload your
Okay.
paintings. You can upload your paintings, whether they're abstract or it doesn't make any difference.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
And you have certain control over it. You can do pans, you can do zooms, you
Okay.
can do a couple of different things.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, yeah, it's very cool, huh?
Uh-huh.
There's the duck over here.
Wow.
Anyway, I thought I would share that with you at lunch.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Land focus. Joe, I have a question. Oh, I have a question.
Yes. Yes, a question?
Yes, Sandra. Yes, Sandra.
Uh-huh.
Now on this plan focus,
Now on this plan focus,
is this, it's an echo.
it's an echo.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Hang on. Yeah, you know what's happening is I know you're on Zoom and I know you have your blur on for your background and it's
Uh-huh.
blurring out
Okay.
everything but your face.
Oh,
So hold it back toward your face.
Oh.
Yeah, cover your face. See if that, no, with the painting. There. No, back a little bit. I see your hands, but the image is there, a little bit of it. If you take the blur back, the blur off of your
okay, how do I do that?
video, you
Okay,
won't be able to
How do I do that?
Okay. Go to video and then
Background.
click
okay.
on that caret
Background, okay.
and just click off on the blur my background. There, now we got it. Hey, that's cool. That's nice and it's not overworked. Yeah,
Okay.
very nice.
Okay, so the focus
Okay.
plan.
I think
focus.
you,
And focus.
yes. So you
Very nice.
so you started with the pre-wet.
Yeah,
Cool.
and some yes.
Yeah. And some yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
it's about that
Thank you.
time. Let me put that away for a second and I think we will paint this next because we've been doing all these organic things. I will leave some goodies for tomorrow. And here we go. There we go.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna brighten that up just a little bit. And make it a little bit bigger. So the big deal in here is Nemo. We'll call him Nemo. And so you can see that. And so this is a perfect case where you could do that pre-wet background. So I'm going to pre-wet the background, not everywhere. I don't want it to be everywhere, but I'm going to pre-wet the background, but I'm not going to wet around Nemo. That's going to be dry. Could be a little bit wet back here so it blends in, but this, the front of the fish is going to be dry. So it's a interesting thing to draw the fish. And yes, you can take this one off. So I think everybody here has a piece of reference.
Oops.
In their file. That's Nemo.
Yes, we do.
I just seem to have the painting, not the photograph.
I just seem to have the painting, not the photograph.
It's in the cluster folder.
Oh, I found it down below. Sorry.
Oh, I found it down below. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, everybody should have one of these.
Yes, we do.
And I'm going to tape around my page so I have a little border. You don't have to. I just do it for demo purposes because then I have a mat. Okay. Okay. So there's not going to be a lot of drawing involved in this, but what you do draw is going to be very important. Here's a Nemo. So it's this shape right here. It's a flattened out ellipse or a rounded corner trapezoid, whatever you want. So where is this shape going to go on the page? So it's not going to go in the middle. I want it over to the right because I want to have room left for that beautiful tail happening. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the top of this. And this is, I can change this. And so now I'm going to draw the side that's fairly straight. This is coming, this sweep right here is coming underneath. And then I've got to cut this, chopped off this little flat part right here. So that's kind of my Nemo. And then I have an eye there. I have an eye here. I have this little mouth. And I pretty much got that part done. The rest of it I'm going to paint so I don't have to draw it. I've got this beautiful little S curve happening here that and some of the and this beautiful part coming up that little triangle right here. Coming out, that's going to come right off of this. There's that, and then I've got this beautiful tail. So there's my Nemo. Yay. Make a few corrections. The rest of it I can put in here, but I'm really just going to paint these leaves. And I'm going to leave this area. This is kind of a big blurry area right here. I can sketch that in very, very lightly. So there's my fabulous drawing. Oh, I do have.
You have
I
another
do have
tail
some
there.
more.
You have another tail there.
I have this, and then I have this, but I
Yeah,
don't need to really paint
yeah.
that. So there's my fish, and I think it's pretty well positioned on the page. It's in an interesting spot. Anyway, I'll give you a few minutes to draw Nemo. One of the reasons, just for me, one of the reasons I stand up when I paint is because I can draw from my shoulder. I think there's a difference between drawing and sketching. I know that's going to be dark, so I can make that dark, I can draw that darker. But if your secret of drawing is draw the biggest shape first, because that's gonna be where that's gonna make or break your painting. If I drew that in the middle, it wouldn't be nearly as effective. So it's your biggest shape first, and then it's your next and next and next and next.
So you think my fish need to be bigger?
Yes, I do. Twice as big. Or half of it at least.
Look at my razor.
I thought that it's really for me.
I still done it too far, but
I don't know. It's okay for me. Mine is smaller.
I wanna be really to
Need to be bigger.
Okay, I'm start painting in a couple minutes. Don't worry about the little details. You're just worried about the big shapes. You're gonna paint the little details.
This does not look like a finish.
Yeah, it does.
Putting it too far to the left.
Make it bigger too.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's better. You know, a handy little thing you can do also is I'm just gonna mark halfway on my reference. And I can look at that and I can say, okay, that's halfway. And then I can get an idea of where is this right here, this notch? Well, it's a little bit on the other side of halfway and it's above that. So there's where I might say, okay, that's that notch and this sweep starts right there. You can do that with all of these. If you like the way this is designed. I don't, because that is right in the middle. So I'm moving it over, cropping this part off. That's just reference for the fish. I'll give you some better paper tomorrow.
This is very good, but remember these?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some actual watercolor paper tomorrow.
Oh, my. Oh, thank you.
Well, my sweet husband showed up with the better watercolor paper.
Oh, there you go.
Let's see, did he go to Michael's?
Yep, he went to Michael's.
That's good.
No, he is a sweet one. He really is. Also wants me to.
While we're waiting for drawing, I'll show you this real quick. And I'll include this in the debrief, the post. This is paper. Okay, sign in, thank you. This is the paper that I got from, I guess I better go back further.
Well, Friday week, ladies. Sale. So everything should be on sale, right? Pellets?
Yeah, there's a 40 off sale till the 17th.
At Michael's.
Michael's.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the other paper. Fingras Puro. Fingers Prero. I have no idea where it comes from, but it's 100% cotton. And this is a 9 by 12, 30 sheets, 100% cotton, atmosphere, $20. And I bought 10 of these pads for Cal Lutheran kids for my watercolor classes there. So, and I've been using them. So I will send you the link to this. You can take a screenshot. It's being recorded, but I'd never heard of it. It's only been around for a couple of months. So anyway, there you go. Okay.
It's interesting that the fish has personality.
I've got some fairly decent water. I'm definitely going to use gravity. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's the fish. There's Mr. Nemo. And I'm going to move this over to see if I can get my palette in there. Kind of, sort of. I'm going to use my biggest brush. This is not my biggest brush, but a big brush. This is my, there's a pretty good brush to use.
Yeah, there
In fact,
is.
I think I'll use it.
You know, big models.
So this has kind of got, again, I'm going to wet this with a contaminated color so you can see how I wet it
Okay.
instead of just clear water. So I'll mix up a little kind of bluey, kind of that color, something cool. Doesn't really make any difference, but as long as you can see it. I'm still going to leave some white paper though. I don't want, that's going to be my in focus. The rest of it's almost all out of focus. So I can just do a little bit of that. I'm going to have some of these weeds coming down through here. I don't want to just wet all of them. I want to wet a little bit back here because I want that to kind of blend in. And I have some leaves coming up through here. I did not wet all the paper. I'm gonna do some of this. I'm gonna just cut around this slightly, but the rest of it I don't care about. And I'm definitely going to cut around my fish. There we go. So that's my wet. And I'm also going to do, why not? A little spatter in there. So now I can start painting. This would be all water usually. That's dry. That's dry, that's dry, that's dry, that's dry. The rest of it's all wet. So now I can start painting. And I'm just going to paint my usual way. I haven't changed anything. I'm just going to paint light to dark, big to small, wet to dry. I've got some stuff happening back here. So I'm going to put that in. It's already bleeding. Yay.
How will you say that again? Like to, like, big to little, wet to dry. You had a little spiel there.
What you see is this is dry paper. All the white is dry paper. Now I'm painting, I'm just painting.
You said you go wet to dry, big to small, something, something.
Wet to dry, big to small, light to dark. I'm painting light. I'm painting light to dark. I'm going to add a little color to that. If I add that color there, I'm going to add a little bit of something of that color over here. That kind of balances it out. And I can start putting in some, I'm gonna use some, gonna scooch this board over so it's more solid. I'm using gravity. I'm gonna use some kind of purpley kind of stuff. Yeah. Well, I'll just let that gonna go right through. Why not? I'm designing now. I'm kind of figuring out this shape. I'm designing. I don't even care what color it is. I'm just designing. I have just enough going on. That's going to be some green over there. I'm going to put a little bit of green down here, just so that's not the only place that the green exists. I'm also going to make that darker in some cases. Again, I'm designing. Make for sure make this darker. Want to give it depth. I'm going to brighten up this up a little bit, I think. Awfully dark down here. I want it to be dark down there, swimming dark down there. There we go. Now it's getting to have some depth to it. So this is just my personal way of painting. You're going to paint your process. That's cool. A little bit of something going on over here. Some of that green. I want to take advantage of this dark while it's still damp. Now I'm going to start putting in a little bit of my other colors just for interest and just for fun. I see that that is kind of that's kind of cool. I'm using a gamboge for this for part of that fish. while this is still wet. I want it to look like it's moving. And I can lift a little bit of that later. Now I'm going to lay this flat. This again, just me. I'm going to lay this flat, and I'm going to spatter some water to make some backgrounds. And bubbles, maybe. You can see it start to work right here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want this to be white down here. So I'll just brush something in there.
I already screwed up.
I'm going to take advantage of a color I have on my palette called lilac. And I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. Oh, that's kind of cool. Kind of looks underwatery, huh? If I see that I paint with this just as much, this paper towel, I want this to soften out a little bit, so I'm just going to wipe it out. I want this to soften out just a tad. I can go back and I can add a little bit of light in here. Kind of cool. I am master of the universe, so I can pick this up and I can move it around. I can let this strip run over to that side if I want. Down. This edge will be softer later. I don't need to do that right now. But I can lift a little bit of this while it's still wet. There's the fin. Or not the fin, but the, what do you call it?
Yeah, good. Mhm.
Well, I'm going to get a nice edge right there. I think. Anything to make it interesting? Makes a big difference starting out this way. While that's drying, I'm going to start painting the, I got to get rid of some of this water. I'm just going to let it go off to this side. I just want that to stay soft but interesting. Yeah, while that's cooking over here, I want to go back with a few darks, but I want that to dry first. I'm going to use some clean water, and I'm going to clean my palette a little bit. I've got a hint of what's going to happen over here, but I want to, that's a nice little blend right there to set that nose up. See if I can't get some uncontaminated yellow. I'm just going to go down my color. That's over. I'm just going down my palette, getting more orangey. And I'm painting wet on dry, so that's going to be the difference. Love those nice dry edges. Now I'm going to take that orange and I'm going to start mixing some purple with it. It's pretty purple back here. Ooh, look at that glow. I gotta let it dry a little bit, but I'm painting wet and dry at the same time. The wet is still cooking. None of that is going to be as dark as it seems. But I have that nice glowy head. Put a very thin wash right here. Wash out that edge. Yep. Kind of looks fishy. We're getting there. We'll let that dry. Made a big difference by pre-wetting that. I hope I get some nice blooms in here. In fact, I'm gonna tempt that a little bit. Add a nice big bloom right there. It's already blooming. Another one, maybe a little one. Yep. I don't think much is going to happen on this side, but we'll see. Oh, look at those blooms. Those are cool. Kind of looks under the sea-ish. I've kept that head nice and bright, I think. We'll see how it dries out. I can go back and I can putz later. I want to put all the big stuff in I can fairly rapidly to take advantage of the evaporation. Oh no, he's coming right at me. Attack of the goldfish.
Where do you put your fish in?
Quiet.
It's fish in.
How would you put it on water? Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Did you write yourself a note
Oh, I better.
for the tamales?
That's why Alex, okay. Remember the tamales. Let me put on my.
Susie always leaves a present for me when we have
Oh.
workshops here. She leaves her tamales.
After I get home, I'll say, take it home. Okay, let's see.
Put
Thank
your-
you.
She likes to see.
Put your keys in there.
Oh, yeah, I will.
Do you have them all looking for it for you?
Huh?
You have them all looking for it for you?
Oh, no, I was talking about they covered up the electrical connections, for the, lighting. Deal. It's gonna put some caps on it, but I guess after that, I'll figure it out.
Well, you know approximately where they
Yes.
are. It'd be very zen just to every once in a while go through there and rake the. I said it would be very zen to once in a while go through there and kind of rake the stones, you know?
Okay.
Yours looks nice and much.
You might not have to, but-
Yeah,
Okay.
you've gotta have some dimension going from back to front.
Hold you both. You're
Doing it.
such baby. Stop, it's so great. Yeah, yeah, you go on top of it.
And you did speckles, didn't you? You had spatters.
I did some spatter. Yes. I'm just trying to rough in the big shapes. Just the big shapes and let the watercolor paint itself, which it's been doing since I started.
Since you were born.
Hmm?
Since you were born.
Hmm. It's kind of important to paint the whole picture at one time. As opposed to concentrating on one thing in particular.
Now he tells me.
Now I tell you.
Now you can tell me. Hey, God.
Remember, I did say paint big to small,
Yeah.
light to dark.
Well, I'm trying to get
Wet to
a
dry.
hitch of color. Oh. No, it's stupid. When you go, is that you agreeing with what you're doing?
So, just talking to myself.
No, I like it. You're agreeing with some dark, some. Oh, wrong size brush, yeah. Here's my big brush. Oh, yeah. I mean, not yours.
You need
Yeah,
something?
mine.
Do you have a watercolor crayon?
You want the watercolors,
Pencil.
the pencil? You could draw with it, but don't put the pencil in the water. Yeah, you could draw with it.
You guys noticed how I painted this? I painted this basically with these two brushes, even though that pad's not very big. With these two brushes, because I did not paint this gradation here like this. I did it like this. 1 stroke, 2 strokes, 3 strokes.
Yeah, I love it.
And now, just like we painted the radishes, I'm going to do a little negative painting in here for darker. I'm going to finish off the mouth, the eye, a couple of scales. And it's still pretty fresh. I love the way this disappears, this gradation right here. So that was pre-wet. So I get all this magic happening. These blooms, yes. I'm going to dry this off a little bit. I don't think that we're going to make another one today, but we might. You want to
I
try?
don't know.
Huh?
We could draw more trees.
You what?
No, that's okay.
No, I'm looking at everybody because I can finish. I can let this dry and start another one. You want to do that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. We can.
I'm going to let this dry and start
we can
another
leave
one.
this to dry.
Take it outside,
Yeah,
let it dry. Take it outside.
Yeah, that's okay. We're gonna have.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to put that over here.
This is the first, I don't think I've ever done a fish before. I know I've never done.
Okay, here's a new pad. So, out of these guys, what do you want to paint? You want to try this one?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll try the autumn leaves. You can do this vertically, horizontally. You don't have to follow necessarily what I did. I'm probably going to keep it vertical, but at least we'll get this, we'll get these started. We can, of course, finish them tomorrow instead of just sitting around waiting for paint to dry. And think about this tomorrow afternoon after lunch. Try painting something that from your camera roll or that you want to paint. Okay. I'll have plenty of stuff. There's already plenty of stuff in cluster to paint. But so this is the star of my show. It's a little bit, so I'm going to caulk it. So basically it's this shape right here. So I want to draw that first. Where do I want that shape? I think I want it about right there. So now I can start adding.
What other food can you on?
We'll have cabbage and cinnamon roll. I'm just a food junkie, you know.
Does not have to be exact. So there's my star leaf. And I'm gonna put another one back here. I'm gonna put this one, this is my second. So there's my shape. So there's a second leaf, and then I've got this one peeking in over here, which I'll overlap. So that's kind of my three major shapes, and the rest of it is just faking it. Gonna shorten up this guy a little bit. There, that's a little better. And now I have this limb going through here. I want to make sure that that is an interesting shape. I changed this as I'll show you. So here's the way I did the limb on mine before. I think I'll make this branch go behind here and down. Looks kind of interesting. A little bit different than the other guy. So there we go. That's my start. About that. Look okay?
So much.
At all.
That would be great with color too.
Mm.
What's that little? Lots of color.
Mm.
And it's not very enough.
No, I know.
Thank you.
Oh, you're pretty wet already. That's gonna be dry.
Except for the, big eye.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, so there's a start for this guy. I think I'm gonna add one more that's going off into the distance there. It makes it a little more interesting. So once again, I'm not even gonna clean my water. I'm gonna leave it that way so you can see it. So here's my inspiration. Here's my reference. And here's my palette. And I'm going to use my big brush again, this guy. I'm going to use a little bit of cerulean. Let me pre-wet first and clean my brush a little bit. I'll do it with this kind of light blue. So I know I'm going to have some blue up here. So I'm not gonna wet everything. I'm gonna add some blue. I want this leaf to kind of disappear, so I'm gonna go right over it. That's gonna make that, give it that wet edge. I'm gonna put some here, but I want to keep this dry. So I'm being, again, I'm being thoughtful about what I am wetting. And then I'm also going to spatter. So I pre-wet this. You can see the blue, which is normally, I'm going to say clear water. So I'm going to put a little blue some places, especially at the top, to give this some depth. So it comes down and gets lighter. A little blue. That's going to be wet there, so that's not going to make much difference. I'm going to keep this side a little heavier. Just something that's interesting. Now I can start painting my leaves. I'm going to use a fairly bright yellow. Kind of pet like the goldfish. I'm going to start painting, right over that leaf. Look at how beautifully that edge is blending. There's a leaf way in the background. Add a little orange in there. Yeah, why not? I just want to make it folly. This is the star of my show. I'm going to keep this pretty light back here. Just go right on through. I'm painting, I'm actually doing a little abstract painting. While that's wet, I'm going to take some of this, and I'm going to spatter a little bit, see how that works. It's pretty wet to spatter right now. A lot of that's going to disappear, but I am going to throw some spatter. And that's the difference between this and throwing it, which is this.
Oh, yeah. Throw spout, is that throwing it? Yeah.
See that? Look at all the action that happens to it. I'm going to spatter a little bit down here to bring some of that color back. See, that's starting to look like fall to me. That's the important part. And I still have the star of my show. Yes. So that, I think, is a pretty interesting start. That's the important part, I think. I'm going to take some of that pure orange and just see what happens. It's not going to be nearly that dark. Start pulling out a couple of these leaves. I got orange there, maybe a little spot up there. Because this leaf right here is going to be kind of orange. So that's my abstract start. I like it.
What blue did you start with, Joe?
Huh?
What blue did you use?
Cerulean. Don't try to paint things, let that watercolor, you pre-wet it, so it's gonna work out just fine. In fact, now that I see that orange, I think a little spatter is in order for that. There you go. That's fall. I'm gonna stop. That's my impression of that so far. I like the design so far.
What do you think of this? I have
Oh, okay. Good job on the goldfish. All this surrounding stuff. I will give you some watercolor paper tomorrow
Yeah,
because
I see what you're saying, yeah. It's
yeah,
poorly.
this has to be a lot simpler. All these little spots are distracting me from this.
But this is nice, the blend, no? The
Yeah.
blend,
Uh,
but
the,
this is
the
good.
watercolor paper will blend it a lot better.
A laugh. Have a laugh.
Huh?
Have a laugh.
Oh, I'm not laughing. You're halfway through. From from a value standpoint, you put down all the midtones, lefts and lights. Now you got to figure out where to put your darks.
Okay. So it's missing darks.
Yes.
You wet the leaves, you wet the top, that's right, it started to show, got it.
I started top to bottom. First of all, I just pre-wet. And I did that in the blue. So I pre-wet this blue, my stained color, and then I actually painted blue. I painted that blue, hint of that blue, cerulean blue sky. There's just a hint of it in this. So it looks like it's outside. And then I started painting with this lighter yellow, this orangey yellow. And then I threw in some orange. All this is going to be pushed way back when it dries. All this is going to be pushed way back, but it's going to have a really nice texture to it. And that's really going to make this leaf stand out because I'm going to paint this leaf the way you all want to paint, is wet on dry. And I'm not letting you do that until you do this. So anyway, this is, in my opinion, I like the way I started this, but that's just me. Got a little blob of water here. Kind of get rid of that. And then I can paint this leaf. I can keep painting. What a concept. I can keep painting. And it's going to look like it's part of this, not just cut out and pasted on. You see how I'm painting? I am not painting like this. I painted that entire leaf in about 3 strokes. And I'm going to keep painting that leaf. There. Isn't that nice? Isn't that fun? I don't have to use all those other things happening. Here's another leaf. I'm more concerned with the shape than anything.
The two.
Okay, we just do the slap the yellow over it. Okay.
Yeah, there's my star.
There, yeah.
There's my star leaf.
Yeah. Oh, that beautiful. It's really great.
It already stands out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta let it dry a little bit more because I want to start putting in some of these branches. I want to pick up some of that color, which is a gamboge. I want to pick up that little bit right up here. So I have a connection to these guys. And maybe a little bit right here. Just a little bit. I know nobody's going to notice it, but there we go. Now I got to let that dry.
When I took the picture, when I took the picture, I could see in the picture that it's much better to leave this out.
Yeah.
I could see.
Yeah, good. Yeah, the first thing you do when you're not satisfied with your painting,
Take a picture.
the first thing that I would do is, can you crop it?
Yeah.
Is it a cropper?
Yeah.
So I can get rid of a lot of the stuff that was unnecessary.
Oh.
How we doing out there?
Doing.
Yeah.
Doing okay?
Doing.
Good.
Sure. What do you need? Jeez, it happens. I need a chair though. I said I need to hold on to the chair.
Oops, I don't know why the fish is still up there. Sorry.
Some of us are still working on the fish.
Oh, too bad. We'll finish the fish tomorrow. There we go.
Want some live fish, I could bring some.
You're so lucky. You're so lucky.
There we go. That's better.
What, Red? He likes.
That red that is on there, I can go back and I can glaze and wash out an edge. But I like the way I started this, so. Actually, I think what I might do is take a little bit of that red and do a little bit more spatter. Because after all, it is fall. Those leaves are.
What red is it? What's a good red?
There we go. That's the star of the show, so that's going to have a little more detail to it. If you don't want to do the rest of it, just hold a paper towel or your hand over it. There. A lot of that's going to disappear, but it'll be enough just for a little interest. Let's say that. Interest, yes.
I want to show you.
That's a magic word. Make it interesting.
I want to show you something. So this is, I like this.
Okay.
You know, this is art graph.
Uh-huh.
It's just the,
Cool. Good, Susie.
we want to try it on this one.
Oh, okay.
But do one piece.
Hi, Peggy.
Interesting.
It's very good. Yeah, I want.
Long time no see.
Oh, she's talking about these. I've never used these before.
What is it?
It's
Art
it's
graph.
called art graph.
Art graph.
Yeah, it's not really chalky. It's kind of
They are expensive, but they are amazing.
it's kind of crayony.
Oh. What do you do with it? What do you do with it?
Is that water soluble?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, it is.
What happens is if you draw with it, and if you put water, see?
Oh, yeah.
It will dissolve, but it's different from the pencil.
Right. Gotcha.
Hey,
It's
Joe, can
better.
I show you mine? This is Debbie.
Absolutely.
And to prove to you all that that thing on the Zoom that says cut out all background noise, I have had landscapers here all day and you guys haven't complained. They're kind of coming
Oh,
close
okay.
to the door right now.
Good. Here, let me put that back on. Oh, there's Nemo. Cool. You did a big one.
Yeah, I don't have paper that small.
Did you are you understanding the pre-wetting and how it can help?
Yeah, I did it on this one better than I did it on the other one.
Yeah, well, it's a
Besides which, when I know I'm painting underwater, I paint with more water. So
yeah. There you go.
I just do.
It just takes, we're all doing this for the first time, so do not be judgmental, because some things are going to work, some things aren't, some things you're going to take a while to understand, and some things you're going to get right away. But it's just, I think it's a good way to paint watercolor because it keeps it fresh. You don't have to keep stopping and starting.
I had this old bottle of granulation medium sitting on my desk, so I poured that on it too.
Uh-huh.
So it's got a little
Oh, cool.
sandiness to it.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah, everybody has better luck with granulating medium than me.
Because you gave me that and they were
No.
very.
Really?
No, thank you.
Yeah,
find-
I've used the granulating paint, from Daniel Smith.
Yeah.
In fact,
Yeah, I
all the
didn't have luck with
granulating
that
paints,
either.
yeah, they work great. But
when
for
you
me to
use
get the bottle
medium-
of granulating, yeah, I know.
I-
I've got a bottle, but it didn't work as well for me as I was expecting, I guess.
I think I probably had this for 20 years.
Yep.
I don't even make
Oh,
it.
we all have those little treasures scattered around our studios.
Oh.
Joe, I want to show you something now because it's very interesting. Look at
Oh,
it.
yeah, see? There you
But
go.
it's different from it's a very interesting feeling when you look
Yeah.
at it.
That's cool. That's like ink or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll have to find out more about that. Okay, I want to take this and I want to see if I can't add some of these limbs, branches to it so I can start proving out my design before it's completely dry. So here's one. I'm going to make that go behind this one. And there, the paper's still damp. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet, but I'm going to go all the way through there. And I've got this guy coming off. Gonna make it go behind and off. I like that so far. Yeah, why not? Got something going off to the top here. Yeah, why not?
Are we gonna work on these right away tomorrow, Joe?
We're gonna work on the finish the fish if you haven't, and finish the leaf first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, so do not rush this. You don't have to rush this. I'm just doing this now. I'm starting to get it. I don't want to ruin this by not letting it dry, but and if you just take and blot your towel like I'm doing right now, see how that breaks up that line,
Oh, yeah,
makes it look more natural.
yes.
So I'm happy with this so far, but I still have to, this has to be drier for me to do this with. To add some of that harder edge part.
Mhm.
But I like where this is going so far. Make sense?
Yes.
So we have this. And we have this to finish. In fact, I'm gonna just go ahead and let this cook for a little bit. And I gotta put in some of these darks. Gotta put in a couple of these darks. So this is a dark up here over there. That is a makes a big difference when you can actually see when you can actually see the light happen.
Don't laugh, you're gonna cry. That's right. I have to laugh. Oh, I'm gonna cry. Lord.
Starting to come to life.
I just killed mine. Peeping.
Getting there. Gotta finish that mouth.
Get upset if we use some dry brush on this guy?
I'm sorry?
Will you get upset if I use some dry brush on him?
On Nemo?
Yeah.
Yeah, here's what I'm gonna do. I don't know if you guys have any of these. I've never used them before I started painting my daughter's pets. That's a fan brush. So I'm gonna mix up a little darker color.
That would work. That would work.
And then I'm gonna make this fin. See, look at that.
Yeah. My blossom took away some of my dark red, so.
That's pretty good.
I
Oh,
won't put it
okay.
back in, but I like the multicolored. Moving on
I'm
the
gonna leave
outside.
that alone. That works pretty good, that fan brush for this.
Yeah, I've never used one.
Yeah, I very rarely use one.
Pretty. Okay. Yeah, I like that. But I lost this because the blossom just moved on down. I didn't, I wanted to put a little bit of color in here. Yeah, exactly, exactly, and that's why I needed the red in here and coming around. And I planned to put this blue in here, but I'm just trying to.
See how dark this part is?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I need to make it dark.
Everything is shut dark.
Yeah, that's what I want. this blue purple is gonna come up here, but I'm trying to figure out how to get it in and make it behave.
Watercolor doesn't behave.
I know it doesn't, that's why I'm laughing. Can't you hear the tone of laughter?
And what I wanted to do, because I did this on the,
Thank you.
other, on the radishes, is, I'm gonna start adding a little, dark down here. I'm gonna make a couple of these, this negative, painting. I don't want to get too cute with it because I don't want it to stand out too much. So I'm going to wash out some of these edges, both sides. There we go.
What kind of power do you have? Do the flat top? Put a flat top, put it on the flat top. Just lay it, I'll just lay it. You have tape? Lay it on the flat top, tape it. How are you?
I'll play with this a little bit more tomorrow, but I think you get the idea of what I'm trying to do here. Just add a little detail, not much. I don't know what this was. Anyway, and I can also go back in. This is still damp. I can also go back in and do that. So now I've got a little bit more detail in there, so I'll play with that tomorrow, but let's see what we have. I retaped this. I just want to look at it without the mess to see how it's doing. So there's Nemo so far.
Oh, that looks great.
And here's the leaf so far. And the other things that we did were this. And we did that page, which I don't remember what I did with it. Is this guy.
There.
The trees. I don't know what I did with the trees, but anyway, you get to see that. You can move those around if you want to take pics.
I just want to take
I'll see you tomorrow.
And the other belly? No.
So you guys worked hard today.
No, we did.
Good.
It was great, thank you. Oh, my tamale, that's it.
Yeah, you better remember your tomorrow.
I cannot tell you how many times I would text him after I get home.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh my God, I haven't stopped watching YouTube for 2 weeks.
You made the tamales?
Perfect.
They start to move.
Yeah, it needs to be softened a little bit. Hang on a sec.
I don't know. But it's time, what time is it?
What you got? It's abstract. It's the watercolor. It's from Portugal.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions?
Tell me if this is starting to be nice.
Look how nice.
I took your advice, I put.
It's very expensive.
What you need?
Okay, very expensive, like mine.
Does anyone have any questions? Yes, no?
Very expensive.
Does everybody know what we're doing tomorrow? We're gonna finish the fish, which won't take very long. We're gonna finish the autumn, which won't take very long. And then we'll, up until noon, we will paint. I've got a couple more things. Oh, cool, Deb.
I want
Yeah.
to do a little more.
Did you have fun?
Yes,
Did you-
definitely.
Did you have fun?
Yes, definitely.
Good.
Yes, it was
And it's not a.
challenging and fun.
And then,
Challenging and fun.
good. And then we'll paint a couple more things tomorrow. And then tomorrow afternoon, at least the last hour, I want you to pick something that you want to paint off your camera roll, or what your usual sweet spot is, what you usually paint. I might paint a landscape. I don't know. But anyway,
That's a good thing.
okay, I'm gonna stop recording. It's gonna be we had some breaks in there, but
You're on time.
Thank you.